All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Soldiers of the Lich Queen. I am Sam, the Dungeon Master, and thank you for joining us. So, real quick before we get into the recap, Justin, channel announcements.
Hi. Just a few. One second. Let's pause that. Channel announcements. July 24th from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll be doing a 12-hour stream again. And we'll be streaming some D&D, most likely. I would also like to throw in some other games like Call of Cthulhu and Vampire the Masquerade, because those are games I want to get going on the channel at some point as ongoing things, because I've never played Call of Cthulhu and I've always wanted to. Same with Vampire. So yeah, July 24th we'll be doing a 12-hour stream for both charity and to raise money for the channel as well, so we can have some extra funds to help things out, because commissioning character art for shows can get expensive, and getting what I'm trying to get for Beneath the Tide is going to be rather expensive. So
I know what that is.
The funds would help. So if you guys want to see like an animated intro for Beneath the Tide, or and a commissioned theme song to go with it, you can help. It's going to cost me a lot of money for a minute of animation. So yeah, about $500 or more.
That's cheap, actually. Not gonna lie.
Or I think I said like a $500 for like every like couple seconds or something.
That's about more.
So it's gonna be expensive. Also, yeah. So charity stream. We'll be doing a lot of games that day. So come on out, July 24th. It's the summer. Some people don't work all summer, so come on out. Watch us play some D&D. We'll be also doing a one-shot with the Campaign 1 characters from the channel, you know, Gundar, Koana, and Baxter Ornstein von Huxley IV. They'll be showing up for an anniversary one-shot. I've already seen the 20th level Baxter, and it's pretty great.
You should come watch it.
You should come watch it, because it's going to be exciting. We'll be fighting an Archlich that is made of fungal spores. It's going to be horrendous. But they can't die.
It's true.
We'll also do some other one-shots, like maybe some funny one-shots. I do have a fun one-shot to do with cast members where they're playing themselves in a horror environment, like Sam did for last year's Halloween one-shot we did, which was a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen that, go check out our YouTube channel and watch that. It's called Noodles in Bad Company. It is a Fate Core one-shot. Also, we do have some new shows in the works right now. One strictly for our YouTube channel, which is called Demystifying DMing, and that is done purely by Sam. So if he wants to talk about that real quick, he can drop some hot words.
Yeah. So, yeah, Demystifying DMing. It's a YouTube series on basically kind of a how-to for DMing for new DMs, some basic tips going through the process. I'm going to start with, first episode starts with some basic tips, then I'm going to start from things like, should I go with homebrewing my entire campaign, or should I do a published adventure? Like, what are the pros and cons of that? What do I need? What are some good things to have for a first session? How do I run a session 0? How can I prep more efficiently so that I feel prepared, but also am not spending like 6 hours a week prepping? Things like that. And this is going to drop on the YouTube on Mondays. I have the first one edited, Justin. I don't know if you want to do that one tomorrow or next Monday. It's up to you.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Okay, I'll send that over to you. We'll talk about how I can get that file to you after the show.
Cool. We're also currently in the works of trying something for Sundays after Soldiers of the Lich Queen. Not fully ready to go on that yet, but it will be streamed live for about an hour, half an hour to an hour after Soldiers of the Lich Queen, and that'll be called Flipping the Table. And that'll be where the Dungeon Masters of the channel, myself, Garrett, and Sam currently, get together and just talk about D&D, like topics of the week, stuff like that. Because I usually noticed before our games on Wednesday when me and Garrett and Sam are together, it's just nonstop D&D talk just before the stream, and it's awesome. And I think having a set topic to talk about every week could be interesting for people out there who want to play D&D or who are interested in DMing as well, because having 3 people talk about something and share their viewpoints on something could be cool, because, you know, we can talk about, hey, how could I play a beholder? Or, hey, I killed my player characters. How do I come back from that? Hey, I did a TPK. Hey,
I also thought of another topic we could do that would be interesting. That
What?
is from a DM perspective question. Is a nat 20 always a success, and is a nat 1 always a failure?
no,
That's
No.
the discussion.
that is the discussion because the DC could be like 30.
It could, but it's up to individual DMs. Some people have different viewpoints on it. Maybe it could be interesting to discuss.
Not always a success. Anyways,
Well, okay.
so
Save it for
I'll save it. I'll save it. Yeah. So yeah, that's a show we're gonna try to do on Sundays immediately after Soldiers of the Lich Queen. It'll only be like half an hour, probably half an hour, ish, because we'll see how long it takes. We'll see what happens because the discussion could just go for a good time, good chunk. So we'll see. What else? What was I gonna say? Oh, and as I mentioned about the charity stream, I am looking into getting 2 games in the week that aren't D&D. I would like to get a Call of Cthulhu game going, but I don't have time to learn another system to DM or run. So if anyone out there knows how to run Call of Cthulhu or Vampire the Masquerade, which is the other game I'm looking at, hit me up on the Discord or message the channel directly on Twitch. Because a Call of Cthulhu game would be great. And so Vampire.
Be really funny to run like 3.5 or 3.0. But with people who like only know how to play 5th edition, and just the horror of it is just the differences in the system.
Do I need Excel to play?
Depends on the level and the character you're playing.
Great.
Also another announcement that I just thought of that we mentioned next week, Sunday.
Oh yes.
There will be no Soldiers of the Lich Queen because I will be out of town and Justin will be also doing things.
I will be in Toronto for my birthday.
There we go.
Birthday.
Thank you.
So we will be, I think this is news to Michael and Rose. Sorry, forgot to mention that until now. But yes, I will be out of town and Justin will be out of town, both for birthdays. Mine is not mine, but
I will be at a world-renowned ramen restaurant.
Ooh.
Owned by David Chang. Shout out to anybody who knows David Chang.
Personally.
They're personally like best friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the announcements really. Also,
Right.
Come hang out Wednesday for Beneath the Tide because shit's gonna get crazy. Anyways.
All right. Into the recap?
Into the recap.
All right. So last week, where we left off, for today's AD&D session, we retained a PhD statistician. Just read that in the chat. Sorry. All right. So last week, where we left off, our party had accepted a job from a bank owner to help him test his security, where they would basically be given permission to break in to the bank, sneak their way in, try and get to the vault to the point where they could have stolen a bunch of money, and then tell them how they did it. They got a little sidetracked along the way. Rose staked the place out overnight. Sorry, Drusilla staked the place out overnight. And Aja tried to wrangle Hannibal, who tried an experiment with by switching out the spell components of one of his spells of grease at the breakfast table in the inn they were staying at, and instead of the normal material component, which is butter, he used dog poop. And when it came to managing the difficult arcane nature of the spell and trying to adjust the magical energies that went into it to use this different material, he rolled a nat 1. And rather than the spell going off normally, which I might add also would not have been great because still in the middle of an inn, it began violently spraying. Instead of just greasing one contained area, it began violently spraying grease sporadically like a fountain over the middle of the inn, and all of the grease smelled like fresh dog poop. Hannibal is no longer welcome at that inn. After that, they decided to gather up their things and what they had and try a plan to sneak into the bank. That Hannibal kind of had his own plan that he was investigating that involved chamber pot usage. And then Aja and Drusilla had a plan in which Drusilla turned into a spider and hid inside a bag of coins that Aja handed over for deposit. Drusilla found her way in the vault and saw that it was basically kind of just like a barred, caged-in room, almost like a prison cell in the basement, not a full-on vault door, filled with lots and lots of drawers to fill coins in, and presumably a different area for the safety deposit boxes that Hannibal inquired about. Drusilla then crawled out looking for a way back upstairs so she can figure out how to get back down to this vault at some later date. And at that is the point where we are going to be continuing with Drusilla in the basement of this bank, right as her wild shape ends, and she turns back into Drusilla in this hallway in the basement of a bank. No one is currently around, no one can see her, but she is herself the barefoot druid in the basement of this bank where she is not supposed to be. So, Drusilla, what do you want to do?
I've had all week to think about this, and I still don't know what I'm doing. It's just kind of look around for some stairs and hope to God no one sees me.
All right. So you're kind of in the middle of this hallway. There's a few doors in the hallway, and at either end of it is a sort of T intersection. But at the moment where you're standing right now, you do not see any stairs in your immediate vicinity.
Okay. Do I hear any voices?
You can't. Yeah, you can hear people. I mean, it's a bank in the middle of the day, so you can hear voices, footsteps, and everything. If you'd like to try and make specific sense of what you're hearing and try and determine location or direction or anything like that, I would need a perception check.
21.
All right. So what are you specifically listening for? People closest to you, or?
Yeah, just kind of people closest to me. And if they're mentioning like, oh, going upstairs or taking things to the vault, because then I can go either in that direction or the opposite direction.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Yeah, you can you rolled very, very well. So you're kind of, your range of hearing is pretty great for this. You kind of close your eyes and you're listening and trying to filter through all these voices. And at like the edge of your hearing, down the hallway to your right, and then hanging a left, you think in that direction, fainter, far off, you can hear a voice muffled say like, "Take that box downstairs to be filed." And then you can like faintly along with it hear just the sound of footsteps coming down a staircase in that direction.
Okay. Well, in that case, we're going to go back into the spider with my final wild shape and head in that direction.
All right, so you focus on I am a spider, I am a spider, I am a spider. You're getting pretty good at this from your first time when you tried to become one with a cat. And spider. The whole world seems to grow and get bigger around you as you shrink way, 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 way down to be a tiny little spider. And there you are, a spider on the ground. I believe you have an hour.
Skitter.
Okay, and make your way in that direction?
Yep.
Floor, wall, ceiling. You have a whole 360 3D option here for movement. So what are you going with?
Where the floor and the wall meet, just kind of in there so I don't
Right
get stepped on.
Okay, right in the corner. Okay,
yeah.
So you're making your way along that way. Give me another perception check as you're making your way along. Everything is bigger and more echoey as a spider, so it's a little disorienting, but see if you can try and keep finding your way in that direction. See how quickly you get there.
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
7.
Okay. As a spider, that of someone walking down the stairs or in the hallway becomes a boom, 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 very loud, thunderous sound that like shakes your entire spider body because you're so tiny and spiders are very sensitive to vibrations because that's how they catch their prey. So it's a little disorienting right now. And you're making your way along, and you come to an intersection, and you're not sure if it's a left or a right, basically, to get to the stairs. You're pretty much stuck at a 50-50 shot here.
Oh, it's 50-50. I'm gonna go right.
Okay. You hook your way off to the right and skitter along, make your way across. You have to, a person's coming along the hallway, you have to like wait for them to pass. Big thunderous footsteps go by. And then you make your way across, kind of across diagonally, and then take a right at the intersection and make your way along.
Mhm.
As you're going, you end up seeing more and more of these offices type things. There were like filing rooms and counting rooms and all of these things. You do see, however, one door at this way propped open. Looks like just a couple of empty crates have been stacked up against it to keep it open. And through it, you can see one of those like basement windows. It looks like you actually are very much not in the direction of the stairs. This seems like actually, as you look inside, it looks like a corner of the building, like maybe a back corner. But you can see light coming in from some of those short, probably like this tall, like maybe 1.5 to 2 foot tall windows that look like they swing down.
So I'm not in the direction of the stairs.
That appears no.
Just gonna turn around and go the other way.
Okay, so you turn around and go the other way, skittering along the floor. And as you're going, you see the bottom of the stairs. You can see the person carrying a couple sacks of coins coming down. They turn the direction you came from. There's a few more people. It looks like this is a fairly busy, well-trafficked area. So as you're crawling along, make me a stealth check with advantage.
Hell yeah. Oh, what are my spider stats? I have this written down.
I think stealth, if I remember last week, was +4.
4 + 4. Tight. $23.
Absolutely nobody notices you. This is a crowded area. People are walking back and forth, but you're like skittering along the floor. You're like hiding in people's shadows as like in order to cross across hallways and things like that. At one point, you like hop up onto a table leg and like spring off, discover that you are in fact a jumping spider, and spring off to get across someone's path and land. And then you're right at the base of the stairs, and you can start making your way up the stairs.
Oh, let's go up those stairs.
All right, yeah, you make your way up, and you're in the back area. Looks like the back area of the bank. You can see a little bit of a doorway ahead of you, and just through it, just with the slightest corner of it, you can see like the teller windows that look like they lead into the front of the bank right there.
So if I were to go through this doorway, I would be behind the teller desks?
Yep, like right behind the row of where they're all sitting, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go through the doorway, and then is there a way to get in front of the teller desks without having to go up and over?
Looking around, yeah, you kind of look to one end. It looks like the teller desks on your right go all the way to one wall, but on your left, it does look like there is a doorway right there.
Okay. I'm going to go through that doorway and just make a break for the front door as quick as possible.
Well, you get to that door, and it is actually a closed, sealed door, and it comes kind of close to the very bottom. Like it kind of comes. There's not a lot of a gap there, so you would have to squeeze underneath it.
Live fast, die young, baby. Let's go.
All right. Give me an acrobatics check as a spider to see if you get stuck under this door.
You can do it. You can do it.
14.
14. All right. You're like wiggling your way under. Your little spindly little legs are sticking out straight to the sides. And you're kind of trying to like move yourself forward, and you feel like you get stuck, and then you manage to pull yourself through and pop out onto the other side. And you are in the lobby, and then you can make a break for the door, skittering across this big mosaic stone floor, out the front steps, down the stairs, and you're outside. I think you can see Aja and Hannibal standing in the sort of plaza area in front of the bank, waiting for you.
Okay. We're going to go to Aja and climb up and try and get her attention.
So you climb up Aja?
Yes.
How would you like to get Aja's attention?
I'm going to go under her face. And just
So you like climb up, start at the foot, climb up the leg, up the side, up the shoulder, up the neck, onto the face. All right, Aja, I just want a perception check to know at what point you notice the spider crawling on you.
Could I convince you
Oh, okay.
to let me have advantage because I'm looking out for something like this?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. If you guys are standing here waiting for Drusilla, so yeah, you're on the lookout. So yeah, take advantage on this perception check.
I mean, I feel like it's driven by guilt because I sort of set this up. So, oh, that's really good because that's a 2, and that's 18 altogether.
Okay, so 8 for the 18. You're standing there, you're looking around, you're scanning, and then a bit of movement catches your eye, and looking down, before she even gets to you, you can see Drusilla the spider crawling across the floor, about to get to your foot.
Whew. I will take very careful care not to step on anything.
Yeah.
a little spider like.
I will. I'm gonna kneel down and hold out my hand, see if she'll crawl into it.
Does Moloch see the spider?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! No!
Let me see. Good question. What is the perception? What's the passive perception of a death dog?
It is.
Oh, you have it. Cool.
22. No, it's
Ooh, 15.
15.
Wow, death dogs are proficient in perception. Good to know.
2 heads.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they've got the 2 heads, and they're both So yeah, the 2 heads are both scanning around, just bored and sitting there, and then one of them spots movement. And Drusilla, from your perspective, you hear woof, woof, woof.
Oh, what is it, Moloch? What do you see?
To everybody else, that's ruff, ruff, ruff.
What is it, Moloch? What do you see?
And there's a little bit of slack in the leash, so Moloch starts like making slowly, like hunter style, making his way towards the spider, going towards Aja's hand.
I watch.
At Aja, you see Moloch coming for Spider Drusilla.
I'm gonna pull a dagger out of my belt and I'm gonna hold it out in front of me.
Okay.
In front of the approaching Malik.
Okay.
And I'll wave it once, and then I'm gonna throw it, like slide it on the floor, and see if he'll like chase it or be distracted or something.
Okay, kind of like go fetch.
Yeah, because unlike Hannibal, I don't keep like random body parts on my person. So.
Okay. And then while you're doing that, are you trying to snatch up Drusilla?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Let's see.
Gently and carefully.
One of the heads is distracted, so make me a dexterity check real quick to just try and snatch up Drusilla, but take it with advantage because of you distracted one of the heads.
19.
All right. One of the heads turns and like it looks like half of Moloch wants to go one way and a half wants to go the other. So like 2 legs, like the left 2 legs start trying to go off in one direction and the right 2 are trying to still go towards Spider Drusilla, but that's all the distraction you need to just gently snatch her back up out of the way.
Stand up, look around. What kind of attention do I
have? The casual kind of attention that people would give to a very well-armed woman standing next to a very brightly dressed fishman playing fetch with a 2-headed dog.
I will, out loud, I'll just say, sorry, didn't mean to drop that, retrieve my dagger, and I'm going to try and leave.
Okay, nobody stops you.
Cool. I will step out, and I'm going to look for maybe like a short alley or something that I can duck into without anybody in it.
Yeah, there was the one that you took Drusilla back to for her to transform in the first place, so you can find your way back to that easily. It's really close by.
Anybody around?
Nope.
I'll hold the spider out in my hand and coast is clear and put her down.
All right.
I'd also like to note real quick, here's a DMing secret. You don't need to prep encounters if your players are their own worst enemies.
True story.
Moloch, you're such a good boy.
If the coast is clear, Drusilla will drop wild shape.
All right, so yeah, spider lands on the ground and like in 2 seconds goes from being a tiny little spider to full-size Drusilla
Jeez.
standing in front of you.
Oh,
What's the
I'm
heck?
glad to see you.
Oh. It's okay, Moloch. It's just a mean lady trying to scare us.
He like takes a few steps back in confusion as she appears in front of him.
How did it go?
It's very confusing down there.
Well, we can talk about it later. We should probably go do that. Where's Hannibal? Is Hannibal still in the
I'm
bank?
right here, Aja.
Oh, sorry. Didn't see you down there. My apologies.
Down there? Do you know
As he looks up at her.
I'm 6'4"?
It was a joke, Hannibal. It was a joke.
Oh my god. See what I have to deal with, Moloch? I can't wait till you're bigger. Then no one will bully me.
Oh?
We can kill everyone, Moloch. Would you like that? Here, for being such a good boy, another finger.
Right.
Lands on the ground. They both scramble after it and like fight over it and tug it back and forth.
Well, should we go and talk through what we learned?
Those are still the sewers that I would like to look at.
I'm sure Drusilla could use a rest after all of that.
And I'm not allowed at the inn anymore, so...
Oh, that's right. You're not.
No, it was a
Gosh.
misunderstanding, so that's
Complete
unfortunate.
injustice.
It was an injustice.
A tragedy, my friend. A
It
tragedy.
was a tragedy. Now Moloch has nowhere to sleep. His beautiful
Nowhere at
little
all.
heads.
You're both homeless.
You can stay with me.
No thank
Through
you.
no fault of your own. But that's sarcasm, Hannibal, just in case you were wondering.
I understood. I am a master of the sarcasm.
Good.
For example, Aja, you are a fierce warrior.
Well played. Well played. Right. All right, oh genius. Well, let's go find somewhere we can be and talk through what we've learned.
Well, the sewer could be very quiet. We could walk through there and no one would hear us.
Nope. I have been covered in poo more than enough
It'll
times
be
today.
my-
Thank
it'll
you
be-
very much.
It'll be my underground base of operations.
You can go sit in the poop hole. Drusilla and I are going to go somewhere civilized.
I mean, he's not wrong. It would be quite quiet down there.
See, and
and
Drusilla could blend in as one of the rats that possibly lives down there. And
I'm not going to the poop hole. I've had enough poop today. I'm just not.
it's not a poop sewer.
It is a poop
They don't
hole.
put poop down there. They put empty chamber pots in there.
No.
It's chamber pot storage.
Let's go sit somewhere in the sun like normal people.
But we are not normal people. Have you seen
We're
what
not.
we look like?
Have you seen what he looks like?
Have you seen what I look like?
I'm not going to sit in the sewer. I'm just not. I can't do it today. I just can't.
Oh, it's a good thing Moloch didn't eat that thing he was looking at.
Yeah, the thing was me.
So that would have been bad because Moloch would have died. You would have expanded in his stomach, I think. Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then he'd be no more, and then I'd have to kill everyone.
Well, maybe you should teach him not to eat random things on the ground.
Moloch, don't eat random things on the ground.
Huh?
Or try not to.
Huh?
So, what are we doing? This
I
is
think
wonderful.
we're checking the sewers. Just
That's 2 for sewers, Aja.
Don't want to go to the poop hole. I've been covered in feces enough today. I'm really kind of done with it.
Well,
Why can't we just go sit somewhere where there's something to drink?
Because
It's
there's
not
just
poop
stuff
water.
to drink in the sewer. If you are observant enough, you know not to drink the dirty water.
Please, Hannibal, I need this today. I really do.
This is a nice city like it looks like. I assume they purify their sewer water.
Please? Please, can we not go to the sewer, please?
Which is right out to the ocean.
So, that's 2 for sewer, though.
It's fine. Fine.
I am a master of the influencing. I'm a master of
I'm-
influence.
If I get covered in poop again, I'm going to charge you to clean my clothes.
I have spells that can clean clothes. I like whisper to Drusilla, no, I don't.
Okay.
Lead the way, Poopsmith.
Wunderbar. Moloch, let's go to the poop chute.
Homestar Runner reference.
And I'm going to take Moloch to where I saw where the chamber pots get emptied.
Okay, so Hannibal takes you guys to an alleyway next to the bank. Out there's several windows that look down over it, and what you can see is, and you've seen several of these throughout the city. It's basically it's got 2, almost sidewalk-like sides on either side, and then a shallow trench in the middle of it. And periodically throughout that trench, there are openings on the sides, like basically storm drains, that you can hear the sounds of running liquid underneath.
See, this is the entrance to the sewer. That was the one I could find. Now watch as I get us in, stealthily and very quietly. And I'm going to put both my hands on and try lifting a grate up. You said there's a grate, right?
No, it's like a storm drain, one of those ones where it's just an opening, like about this tall, that it all just runs down into.
All right. So, I think we could all fit if we do it very carefully.
All right.
Crack my neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to run at it.
Okay.
And jump and try to do a slide on my back, spy style into it.
Just try like a baseball slide into the sewer grate.
Yeah.
Give me an acrobatics check.
This is gonna go so bad. I am trying to look awesome.
You're trying to slide into a sewer, so it's already working against you.
14.
Okay. So you go and you kind of slide down, and you have to lean way back. You make it about most of the way in. You kind of get caught at the shoulders, but it's not it's just enough to stop your momentum. With very easily, you can kind of just wiggle a little bit and tilt your head, and then push yourself down.
That
and
is what I do.
Okay, and you manage to wiggle yourself. Your lower half is dangling down in the sewers as you're caught like this. You manage to push yourself through, and then land with a in the grossness beneath you. It looks like there's no raised sides or anything. It's just a tunnel that flows forward.
I stand up.
Yeah, and
a deep breath.
It smells terrible in concentrated human waste.
So everyone, as you can see, that was majestic and perfect. It is very quite nice down here. There is no poop. If you would like to follow me, that would be ideal. And I put my hand. Can I get my hands up and through the hole?
If you go way, way, way up on your tiptoes, you can just get your fingertips through. Yeah.
Okay. Someone pass me Moloch, please. Moloch,
No.
Don't bite anyone. Drusilla, can you please hand me my dog?
That dog tried to eat you. Just saying.
Good, but he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, that's what
You
it
can't
is.
abandon a puppy in the streets. You'd be a forever bad person.
I would.
That dog's different, though. I could do it.
Aja, he's a sweetheart.
Moloch told me last night that you're his favorite, Drusilla.
Oh,
Yeah, that's because he wants to
those
eat your
faces.
face.
But look at those faces, Aja. Look at them.
Someone please pass me my dog now.
I'm gonna pass him, Moloch. So
Okay.
that he's a good boy.
Make me another animal handling check.
I'm good at these. I'm the druid. I'm not good at these. It's a 6.
Okay. You pick up Malik and the two heads are and just like biting at you, like trying to bite at you, and you're trying. So you manage to pick him up though and hand him forward. Let's see.
Malek, no biting.
You take 1 point of piercing damage.
I love you.
Malek, no biting.
And but Hannibal, you managed to get this just like twitching and writhing ball of puppy handed to you in your hands, and as soon as he's in your hands, he kind of calms down a little. You can pull him down.
I pat both heads. It's okay, little man.
You can see just like you can see them like licking their lips and like bits of blood dripping down their little fur. Drusilla, your hands are just chewed up and bleeding.
Are we going to use the death dogs? What happens when you get bit by one?
Let's see, because it did. Yeah, Drusilla, make me a Constitution saving throw real quick. I was just about to ask that.
9.
Okay. So, Malik is still a puppy, so his bite has not fully matured yet. So you're just like, as you stand up, you're just like, feel a little bit woozy.
Did this dog roofie me?
No, just, he's a very, very, their mouths are rife with disease.
Oh no.
Just like Hannibal. Alright, the rest of you can come down now. It's quite safe and nice down here. It's cozy.
Alright.
After you,
Yes.
Drusilla, I'll keep watch.
Okay. If you want to, go back to the inn and think while we're down here, you sure can.
No,
one's here
we
with you.
let's talk together. It's best that way. It's just I'm covered in poop already. I want to get covered in poop again.
That's kind of the way life goes. Sometimes you just get covered in poop.
But not in an inn at breakfast. I'm just saying. That's just not what's supposed to happen.
I don't have much experience with inns, granted, but maybe that's just how they are.
That's a good point. It's only my 4th time in an inn. Maybe that is what happens.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's go after you.
All right, I'm gonna slide in.
Okay. Drusilla, for being very short, Drusilla's really short, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. For being really short, make the acrobatics check with advantage this time.
Hell yeah. 21.
All right. For Drusilla, it's less a matter of like shimmying in and more a matter of just kind of like sitting down, putting her legs through, grabbing the lip, and then just kind of swinging herself down. But then you land barefoot in a sewer.
Isn't it quite remarkable down here?
Feel it, and it's like the way these sewers work. There's not like necessarily constantly running water through them. Basically, they just rely on whenever it rains, it just kind of pushes it all out. So it's not so much like liquid as it is more like a thick paste, which nobody else was necessarily going to get that familiar with. But when you land, it like squishes it between your toes, and you get a really, really familiar. You get very familiar with the consistency of the material down here, and it just smells the smell is oppressive and constant, and it's like warm.
Does it feel like mud?
Kind of, yeah, but a little chunkier
mud.
than mud. Just thinking mud. It's just mud.
Think of
Really
all
bad
the-
smelling mud.
Think of all the materials I could get down here for my alchemical components.
Mm-hmm.
They say poop can be flammable.
Can it?
I mean, look at all this poop down here. You're standing in it. It's between your toes. Look.
No, I'm really just protecting my toes from you.
I don't understand.
If they're covered in poop, I guess that would just make you want them more of it.
Aja, It's your turn.
Coming.
If you can fit down here with all that armor on.
We'll see.
All right, Aja, acrobatics check.
8.
So Aja, like, gets down and starts pushing herself back, and then somewhere at about the ribs, there's just like a moment where you're like, I'm not moving anymore. I'm stuck. You guys can see down below, you can see Aja's legs come down, and then just like no more movement, and like Aja, your feet aren't touching anything. Your legs are just kind of hanging down at about like Hannibal's face level.
Aja, don't be alarmed. This is me grabbing your ankles.
No.
Under ankles.
Okay.
Drusilla, wrap your arms around my waist. We're gonna pull Aja in.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull with all my strength.
All right, make me an athletics check with advantage because Drusilla is aiding.
Oh yeah.
The thing again, if your players, I don't have to prep anything. They do this all for themselves.
So, with advantage, that was a natural 1.
Okay.
And a 14.
Okay.
Oh wait,
With
hold on.
the
You said athletics or acrobatics?
athletics.
Oh,
strength.
Plus 2, 16.
Okay. With Drusilla's help, you're about to you go to pull and you like slip on something, but then that's right when Drusilla comes up and like wraps her arms from behind and like steadies you, and then now that you have her hanging onto you, you manage to get a good footing, grab onto Aja's ankles, and yank back as hard as you can. And Aja, you feel whatever. There's a little bit of like a scraping as you kind of pulled through this very small stone space, but then you feel and like your armor kind of like pulls up to your chin almost, and then there's a scraping sound, and then you fall down in and land basically on top of Hannibal and Drusilla.
Oh!
Oof.
Ow.
Oh. At least I didn't land in the poop.
Yeah, you're the least poop covered of the two of them. They kind of land in it.
Oh, I'm gonna be like submerged in fecal matter.
It's not like deep. It's like only a couple inches deep at the bottom, but.
Aw.
Thank you, Hannibal. This is much better than this morning.
Yes, see, it's very nice down here. It's aromatic. You can taste the air almost.
You can like opening your mouth to talk. It's like you can taste the air.
Ugh.
And like it's one of those things where it's like it almost feels like the air has mass to it. Like you can feel the air. It feels heavy and oppressive around you. Like you can feel the stench pressing in on you from all
I'm gonna
sides.
stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Cast Mage
I'll hold
Hand.
out a hand to each of them.
I take her hand, a very poop-covered hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stand up and I cast Mage Hand, and I get Mage Hand to wipe the poop off of everybody but Hannibal. As best as possible.
Okay. It's hard. It's like kind of, it's going to take some doing, but you manage to get like the majority of it off. It's still kind of like stained and like smeared on in a few places, but you managed to get a good amount off.
Dispel it, and then I'm going to kneel down,
Mm-hmm.
take one of my vials, and just
Okay.
kind of run it through the muck.
Okay, you managed to fill your vial full of a variety of human waste. Malik is like chest deep in it.
Moloch, are you okay? Is this fine?
Arf, arf, arf. He seems fine. He seems perfectly happy.
There's probably lots of rats down here for you to munch on.
The two heads start looking in both directions and looking around, and then like within the radius of the leash, he starts kind of trotting around in the muck, kind of like if you've ever seen a dog walk in very high snow.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but way worse. So it's like a small puppy walking in chest deep human waste.
So.
But just imagine the snow.
It was cute and then it wasn't.
Yep.
So, I think we can get into the bank through here.
Drusilla, did you find a way back? Did you see where they kept the money?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could do it again? Like tell us how to get out?
You go downstairs and you go down a hallway and then there it is.
Well, there it is.
Which hallway? I don't remember, but there was a lot of hallways ways.
Wunderbar.
Hannibal, how big was the grating in the bathroom?
So, about that. There
Yeah.
wasn't any.
So we can't use the sewers to get to the vault.
I mean, yes, we can. You just need to have faith in your favorite Hannibal. No one expects us to come up from the sewers.
But where would it come up?
It's a secret. I'll tell you when we get there.
That doesn't seem like a good idea. It seems like we should talk this out now so we can just like go do it.
Look, fine. It comes up inside the vault.
Oh, that's convenient.
I scanned it out earlier when I was in there doing my deposit box information. I saw them say, yes, we have a sewer grate in our vault. Please don't poop in our vault. And I was like, good to know. I think it's a bit strange it's in the vault, but it's dwarves, maybe dwarves like to poop with their money.
Drusilla, did you see a grate in the vault?
You did not see any grate in the floor of the vault.
Maybe there's two vaults, because there wasn't one when I was there.
There is two vaults, yes. There's the vault where the dwarves don't poop in, and then there's a dwarf poop vault.
Hannibal,
Yes.
stop it.
This is hurtful. I'm giving
Yes,
you
be serious.
information that I acquired from this dwarf
Making
I
up
talked to.
information is not the same thing as acquiring information. It's really not.
Isn't all information made up?
Oh.
He has a point.
Does he?
I've only got an intelligence of 10, so I can't engage in a discussion of metaphysical conundrums. So I'm not going to do that. But what should we do? I don't think that there's a second vault.
There's always a second vault.
No, there's not.
There's always a second vault. Think of it. There's two of everything. You have 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears.
1 nose.
2 nostrils.
1 head.
If you're if you're a male, you have 2 heads.
One Hannibal. Thank gods.
All right, this way, and I'm just gonna walk off in a random direction.
Drusilla, do something. Can you do something? This is not a good way to do this. We can't just like go pretend there's 2 vaults when there's not.
Oh, and Moloch has 2 heads.
I don't know what to say anymore.
He listens to you.
Does he?
Oh, Moloch, look at this specimen on the ground.
I hope so.
You know what? Sure. I'll go talk to him.
It's like 6 inches in diameter.
Okay.
That's girthy.
I'm sorry, Sam.
I guess Drusilla's gonna follow after Hannibal.
Okay.
Hey, Hannibal.
Yes, hello.
I'm not sure there's a second vault. I didn't see one when I was there.
Yes, there isn't. Don't tell Aja, she'll be very upset.
Are you trying to make her upset?
No, I just thought this attacking from the sewer would be a good idea, but then I realized, oh wait, I don't think there's a way into the bank from the sewer, and I realized that after I jumped down into the sewer, and I didn't want to, be stuck down here alone.
Well, there's this concept that someone very close to me taught me as a kid, and it's called being honest.
What is honest?
Honest is when you tell the truth. So if you don't know that there is a way into the bank, that's what you say instead of
Oh,
making things
okay.
up.
Turn around to Aja. Aja, there isn't a second vault, and there's no way into the bank down here.
See, that was honesty.
Thanks, Hannibal. That's very good of you to say.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait.
Waiting.
Yes.
There might be plumbing in the bank, like if they get water or something.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So maybe there's a water runoff we could follow and climb up the water pipes and break into the bank through the water supply.
Are water pipes bigger than sewer entrances, do we think? Because I had a pretty tight fit.
That's the fun in finding out.
I suppose there's no harm in looking.
I mean, what could be worse than poop?
Lots of things.
I haven't found it today.
You should see.
I guess we should go look for it.
You should see what's in my bag. That is worse than poop, I imagine, right now.
No one's getting in your bag, Hannibal.
Hannibal, where do we find these pipes?
In the sewer. And I'm going to keep going in the direction that I was going originally.
You've had a good idea.
It's not the first time.
Okay.
And, Sato voice to Drusilla out his mouth. Thank you. You're the best.
I am the best.
Okay. So you start walking in the direction you were going.
Yeah.
You do notice that for the most part, it seems like it slopes down slightly in the direction that you're walking, which would probably be in the direction of either the river or the ocean, depending on proximity. And yeah, there is it looks like basically that there's this there are multiple intersections, but they're not necessarily 90-degree angles. They're all kind of angled so that things will flow in the direction that you are walking. So if you wanted to kind of take any turns, you kind of have to go down and double back up another one. So what are you trying to find exactly?
I'm trying to find any way water would run down here from inside the bank.
Okay, so you're kind of trying to track the outside, like trying to find the foundation of the bank and like just track around its outside?
Yeah.
Okay. As you're walking around, it's not hard to do. Like, basically just take the next left turn and try and circle around it. As you track around it, it seems like this is a really old sewer that's pretty much is meant to just like take waste from just that falls in the streets and wash it out to the river or the sea when it rains. And it doesn't necessarily look like there's any pipes or anything that connect to it.
Well, Moloch, I guess this is not the way.
However, Hannibal,
Uh-oh.
as you are walking around and looking for this, since you're the one looking very specifically at everything, I will say you make me a perception check with advantage, but Drusilla and Aja, you can also make perception checks.
Ooh, that is a 2 and a 18 minus 1, 17.
Okay.
Natural 20 for a 25.
Okay.
16.
Okay. So all of you notice this. Drusilla, you notice it first. Hannibal, as Hannibal is talking to Moloch and expressing his disappointment at this point, he's like about to go lean on the wall disappointedly. And as you're looking at it, you notice the wall he's about to lean on. All of the walls in this place are basically like very large bricks, almost cinder block sized blocks, making this up with mortar between them. You notice the one that he's about to lean on, like the mortar in between the bricks is practically all but missing, and there's even like you can see a small hole in one part. It looks like the wall might actually be brittle, and very fragile as he's about to lean on it.
Secret door. Hannibal, look. Your hand. Look at the wall.
So yeah, Hannibal, you're about to lean on this, and then Drusilla gets your attention, and then you look over, and yeah, you can notice, as she points it out, yeah, this wall, it doesn't necessarily look like a secret door, but it looks like this wall is very old and brittle and hasn't been maintained, and looks like it is fragile.
Oh,
that sounds like a secret door to me.
Wunderbar. Good job, Drusilla.
Good eyes.
Light hammer.
Okay, so you just whack at it?
Yeah, with my light hammer.
All right, yeah, you smack it, and there's just like a, and then your hammer just goes punches a hole right through, and several of these like almost hollowed out blocks. It basically looks like over time something has just eroded these blocks, and they've just gotten old, and the mortar has fallen out, and just this section, as you hammer into it, goes through, and you end up punching through into, like, as you peek inside, it's hard to see. I think, do Triton have dark vision?
You think they would, because underwater, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I do not have dark vision.
Okay, so you managed to make a pretty good sized hole through, and as you look in, you can see that it looks like generally a good sized section here is about as weak as what you just put a hole through.
Okay.
And it's just dark inside. But it doesn't look like there's anything immediately behind it. It looks like there's a space behind this.
Okay, I'm going to use one of my magical tinkerings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a 5-foot radius of light on my glove.
Okay. So your glove flares into light, and I like to imagine because of how sparkly it is that like it's almost like disco ball light, like it illuminates.
Oh, of course.
But the light as it hits the wall is like points of light.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and get Mage Hand to help me like make this hole bigger.
Okay, so you start hammering away at this wall and like Mage Hand pulling bits of rock away, and as you're doing this, you manage to clear away a pretty good sized area. It looks like there was a fairly natural, not cavern necessarily, but just kind of natural space in the rock here, as what you're looking at is unhewn natural rock. But just ahead of you, and because it looks like the space kind of continues behind this wall, and just ahead of you, a little bit further down, you can see where there's a space in the natural rock, and you can see much newer, fresher brick and blocks and mortar kind of filling the space in one area that looks like the foundation of the bank.
Oh, wunderbar.
And it looks like this almost tunnel continues to your left and then hooks around a corner.
Everyone come look at this.
Hello?
We'll go look at it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sized hole. It doesn't quite go all the way to the floor, but you can pretty easily step through it, and then there's a space you can stand inside.
I think this is the way. I know the way.
This may be a silly question, Hannibal. I apologize, but why do you think this goes to the bank?
Well, this looks like foundation. And the poop chute that we went down was basically underneath the bank. So I think this is bank foundation. So this is the way to go.
That makes sense. All right. Good job, Drusilla.
What?
And Hannibal. And
Good
sorry.
job,
And
Drusilla.
Hannibal.
You saw it, and I made it.
You both did very well.
What is team?
Team?
Anyways,
Us.
it's an anagram of meat. Anyways, so who do you think should go first? Oh, it probably should be me. It is my discovery. So, Well, it's a dual discovery. So,
I will go first.
oh, I have the light on my hand, so see?
I can see in the dark.
So can I. I have a light.
How about
What?
you put out the light and I'll go look, since I can see in the dark.
But I can also see in the dark.
So can I. I have a light.
But the light will
light
get
might
us
get us
found.
Who's gonna be down in the poop tunnels? No one. It smells down here like poop. But fine. And I'll end the light on my hand.
Okay. Oh, hey, Malik also has dark vision.
Hannibal doesn't know
There's
that.
Do you want to go, or would you like me to go?
I'll go.
Be careful.
I always am. Haven't died yet.
Okay,
No.
so you're sneaking ahead.
Mhm.
Right. And then are Drusilla, you're sneaking ahead. Are Aja and Hannibal following after at a distance, right behind her? What are we?
I
what are
would
we
like
doing?
to go in the middle.
Okay.
So right after.
As you start, so Drusilla, you start walking, and you notice this is a natural cavern. Hannibal, as you're going, you know you're having a hard time seeing because it is like once you come into this, you in the sewers, you were getting light from like the storm drain entrances, basically, like sunlight was coming in through those. But now that once you're around this corner, there's none of that. It's pretty much just a natural cavern space, and there is no light, so it is completely dark. But you notice the leash in your hand, like tugging ahead of you in a direction, and like you notice that as you hang on to Malik, he pretty much is leading you in the right direction.
Malik, you are more than meets the eye.
Bark, 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 bark. And then he turns into a cassette deck.
Oh,
I'm kidding. Okay. Drusilla, you are creeping along. And then Aja, you're in the back. And you can see, in the dark, you can see Hannibal being led along by Malik, acting as a seeing eye dog in the dark.
I'll try to keep like a hand on the back of Hannibal so he doesn't like trip or fall over and guide him around things that Malik's not going to guide him around.
Okay.
Push him yourself.
someone touched me in the dark. There are ghosts in here.
Ooh.
Oh
You
my
guys, shut
god,
up.
there's a ghost.
Shut up, you guys.
Hello, ghost.
Never go into the poop room again.
Okay, poop ghost. I shall never go in the poop room again.
Good.
Oh, this is a scary ghost, Malik.
Mom doesn't fucking love us.
It's okay, Malik. I don't think it's a ghost. I think it's Aja.
Hey there, demons. It's me. Oh boy.
The boy.
All right, so you guys are going along. Aja's pretending to be a ghost. Hannibal is scared of the ghost. And Drusilla's just like, shut up!
You guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, you make your way along, and yeah, you can see several more places where basically the wall on your right is, as you walk, a kind of variety of or varying amounts of it are that like hewn and man-made stone that kind of look like they fill in a gap to make that foundation. And in some places it's like very, very little, like they filled in just a little piece. And in some places it's like you're passing an entire just solid wall on your right that is just brick. So as you go around this, you eventually come to come around the corner, and then the further in you go, the less you start to smell the poop, until eventually it smells pretty. It's not. I'm not gonna say it smells nice. You can still smell yourselves, but the ambient smell of poop is gone, and the air in here starts to feel a lot less oppressive, a lot more crisp. There's a very for a good amount of it, there's this very dry, almost sour smell to the air. That seems to be just like the smell of the fresh stonework and mortar that they put in like the minor chemicals they used in order to bind the mortaring. And then eventually, Drusilla, as you're walking and you eventually get your other two siblings to quiet down, you start to hear just the faintest trickle of water coming from up ahead.
Okay. Are we quiet, you guys?
Yes.
Inside voices. Whisper.
Yes.
Little lower.
Yes.
Okay. Do you hear that? Do you hear the water?
Yes.
Okay. I think we may have found the bank water.
Oh, wunderbar. Yes, the bank water.
Okay. Let's
Now
go.
what do?
We go find out if it is the bank water.
By tasting it?
By seeing where it comes from.
Okay.
Let's go. Or you guys can stay and I'll go.
No, I think we all can go.
But quietly.
Why die alone? Yes, quietly, Moloch. We're going to be very quiet, Moloch.
Make me an animal handling check.
Oh, fuck. Natural 1.
Okay. Moloch is like hears the sound of the water and it just seems to bother him and he's just like yapping and barking and growling.
One of the last gift fingers.
Put it in his mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. Manages to shut him up for a minute, but once it's gone, he might start yapping again.
The palm, like where all the just the leftover.
The whole
hand.
like middle part? Okay. Yeah. Hand that to. All right, so you give him basically a feast, and that manages to keep him quiet.
All right. Let's go.
Okay. Make your way forward. And you actually, Hannibal, you start to be able to see because up ahead, around some natural rock formations that you kind of have to weave around. You kind of have to walk away from the wall at one point and then come back. And then you can see light up ahead of you as there is a spot in the foundation. Looks like just a solid wall of foundation here with a door set into it that leads out into the cavern you're in with metal hooks set into the wall that you see a lantern, like an oil lantern hanging from, lit and lighting this area. And you can see what look to be some natural, some carved steps going down to your left away from the foundation a little bit. And about maybe 20 feet down or away from the wall and maybe 10 feet down, you can see natural sort of spring, just a little bit of water running through and kind of pooling in an area right ahead, just kind of trickling through a couple cracks in the stone. And it looks, and you can see several buckets set up around, and it looks like this might be a natural well or spring that the bank uses to get their water.
Oh, looks like Hannibal has done it again.
It's a good idea.
Also, I just realized if we are breaking into the bank, our smell is quite noticeable. Perhaps. So maybe we should wash ourselves real quick.
With what?
Those buckets. Maybe there's water in them.
All right.
Okay, so you go over, the buckets are currently dry, but there's like a pool that looks like maybe a couple feet deep and like 6 feet wide, set into just a natural little bowl-shaped depression that looks like the buckets are filled normally from there. So you could fill up some buckets, and if you wanted to wash yourselves off, you could go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Do that.
Yes.
Wash the poop out of the feet between the toes.
Mm-hmm. While you guys are doing that, as you're coming up on sort of the end of this bathing session, can I get perception checks from everybody?
Yeah.
7.
Natural 1.
17.
Drusilla, you're washing off your feet and everything, and you start to hear footsteps approaching the door that's right next to you guys.
Guys, hide somewhere.
Is there I grab the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna use another magical chain cutting,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna cast put a nonverbal spell on the bucket. And
Okay.
it's just gonna be the sound of a roaring animal, and I'm gonna chuck it down the way we came. And then I'm gonna try to hide under the water because I can breathe underwater as a Triton.
Okay.
Oh. The
Dude.
water, she just cleaned the poop off in. Oh, no.
Well, I'm assuming you guys were dumping it, like pulling it out and dumping it.
Oh,
on
no,
her.
no. Let him breathe the poop water. Please let him breathe the poop water.
Well, that's the question. Have you guys been contaminating this bank's drinking water?
And before I jump in, I'm gonna pat Moloch on
That's
the
the
head
real
and say,
plan, Sam.
Moloch, you can't breathe underwater. Drusilla. I'm gonna hand him to Drusilla.
Okay.
Don't bite her. No more treats if you bite her.
Animal handling check real quick.
Who?
Natural
Me or-
fucking 20.
Okay. Hannibal, with all the treats and everything you've given him and everything, you tell him, don't bite Drusilla. And then he hands you Moloch.
Yes.
Moloch, he looks like he wants to, but then he says it, and then he kind of settles in your hands, and you've got Moloch.
And I jump into the pool and
then
submerge myself as a Triton.
Hannibal then, like, runs forward and then just, like, arms stretched out, perfect swan dive into this water, which is very shallow. So, like, he kind of goes in and, like, manages to curl up at the bottom, but, like, barely a ripple across the surface as he dives.
And I also put the sound of, like, a roaring animal in that bucket and chucked it down the way we came.
Right, okay.
As a distraction. But yeah, now I'm, like, under the
Yeah,
water.
you can hear you're just, like, coming down from, like, the hallway.
Yep.
I'm going to hide the wall right opposite the door. Like, not across from, but adjacent to.
Just, like, behind the door, basically?
Yeah, so someone would walk past me. Yeah.
Okay. And then, Drusilla, what are you doing?
Is there any like natural rock formations I can hide behind?
Oh, yeah, plenty.
Yeah, then I'm going behind there and just like, shh, shh, Molly, it's okay.
Stealth checks from everybody.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, okay. 17.
Okay.
Underwater.
Hear me out. 8.
Okay.
14.
14. Okay. So the door opens, and Aja, like, you're standing there, and the door basically swings open and stops right in front of your face. Like, doesn't hit you, but stops right in front of you. You're just backed up against the wall, and you can all hear footsteps coming. Hannibal, you're down in the very bottom, the dark bottom of this pool. You've managed to, like, there's a little bit of sediment on the bottom. You managed to kick up, so there's a little bit of like a cloud of dust at the bottom that you're hiding inside of.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still kind of see up out of it. You can see the general shape of a person, and then you can hear like a kerplunk sound as they pick up two of the buckets and fill them up, and then set them on the side. But then they notice that roaring sound coming from down the tunnel, and then they walk back over and grab the lantern and start, like, slowly, Drusilla, from around the corner where you're hiding, you can see light start emanating coming from around the corner as this person starts to make their way in your direction. And you realize that while you were completely blocked off from the view of the doorway, if they get any closer, you're just kind of standing here holding a dog, and he's just going to walk right up and see you.
As soon as he walks past the door and I can see that it's like a single person, I'm going to rush them.
Okay, and it looks like he is just like a bank worker. He is not a guard or anything.
Yeah, I'm going to take him.
Okay. Do you leave the door? Do you, like, push the door out of the way, or do you kind of go around it?
I will try to, like, not slam it shut, but just move it so it's shut as he's passing.
Shut the door and then go at him. All right. So what are you doing?
I'm gonna move up to him and try to grapple him.
Okay. Make me
And
an
I'll try
athletics
to
check with advantage. Sorry?
I'll try to clamp a hand over his mouth when I do it.
Okay. Make me an athletics check with advantage.
19.
Natural 1 on my end. So yeah, you come up. He is like creeping forward, like like someone in the first 5 minutes of a Scooby-Doo episode, with his lantern, creeping towards this horrible sound. And just as the light is about to illuminate Drusilla, you come up right behind him and just manage to get like one arm hooked under his arm and the other one under his other, and just clamp it around his mouth. And he's like, and it's weird. You have to hunch down because he's a dwarf. You manage to clamp it over his beard and his eye. But just so you can see, like, the light, you can hear this muffled yelling and like see the feet kicking and the lantern shaking side to side.
How's Moloch doing in my arms?
As soon as that happens and like there's a bit of a scuffle, Moloch starts growling.
Hey, Moloch, it's okay. Shh, shh.
Animal handling check.
I'm gonna get it, you guys. I'm gonna get it.
It's the one.
22.
Okay, you manage to like pet and shush Moloch, and Moloch quiets down. Okay, and so Aja, you have this dwarven bank worker in a grapple, and you're covering his mouth.
I'm gonna whisper in his ear, trying to intimidate him, I think.
Okay.
Silence or I will break your neck.
Roll me an intimidate check.
15.
Okay, yeah, he goes still and quiet, and eyes are just, you can't see his eyes, but you can hear him, like, as he's breathing in and out heavily, you can see there's like a slight shake to his breath as he's like trying to hold in whimpers.
How am I perceiving things while under the water?
You saw everything is kind of muffled as it is under the water, but you kind of heard, I suppose you're kind of looking up. So yeah, you would have seen the shape go up and away with the lantern and then start going to one side. And then I suppose you could have seen like the vague rippling shape of the door close, and then a shadow from behind the door just move out and then rush in that direction.
Okay, I'm gonna like raise my head up out of the water and just have my eyes above the water like a crocodile and see what I can see.
Do that like military thing where you just come out just eyes first.
Yeah, just my bowler hat, like
water running off the brim of the bowler hat or on the side of your face. You come up and you can see Aja just on the tail end of threatening this dwarf into silence.
Excellent.
Holding him with a hand over his mouth.
I'll end the magical tinkering on that bucket.
All right.
And then
Sound ends.
And I'll rise up out of the water just to my full height.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Welcome to hell.
Aja's holding him facing away from you, so all he hears is just a German voice in the background just go, "Welcome to hell."
I'll whisper, "Drusilla, come out."
Step forward, holding the dead.
It's like welcome to hell. You've got the giant lady with like, "I'll break your neck," and then the small barefoot woman holding the puppy comes out.
So, do I recognize this worker from behind?
No.
So I can't see his face. Okay. So everyone, did Sanso say if we have to, what is the policy on maiming?
We don't need to maim anybody. Let's get some rope and tie him up.
We could put him in my bag of holding.
Nope, we're gonna get rope and tie him up.
I have a 50-foot hempen rope.
That would be super helpful.
Pull it out of the bag. Here, I have it. I'm very good at tying things up.
Good. Tie his arms and legs. Make a gag too.
Make a gag? I have lots of things I could make a gag out of. Hold on 1 second.
No fingers, no feet, no poop.
No fingers, no feet, no poop. All right. Fine. I just like tie the rope around it, like through his like mouth.
Okay. All right. So you managed to pretty easily tie this terrified bank worker up, and you have one tied up bank worker.
Great.
And I'm gonna look into his eyes, with my slit like snake eyes.
In the darkness, just glistening and dripping with water.
You are in the presence of Hannibal. If you scream... And Aja and Drusilla, those are his names. Why are we telling him our names? My secret identity is Hannibal. Their secret identities are Aja and Drusilla.
And this is flora and fauna.
Yes, and we are under orders of a half-orc named Reggie to rob your bank and steal all your money and gold. Now,
where does that passage go?
Yes, what she said. Where does this passage go?
And I'm gonna ease down this thing so you can talk, but if you shout, I'm gonna cut your face.
And I'm going to
that one's gonna eat it.
I'm gonna eat your face and your fingers. And Moloch's
Hannibal,
gonna eat your...
This is kind of fun.
Butt cheeks.
Okay, so be quiet, right? You're gonna be quiet? I'm gonna ease it down.
I have my light hammer raised just in case he screams.
Where does the tunnel
go? What do you want to know?
Where you came from? Where is it?
It goes back into the bank.
Where in the bank?
The bottom, the basement floor.
Is that where the vault is?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you have any? I'm gonna Hannibal, searching for keys.
All right, and I'm searching for keys.
All right. You managed to find a fairly basic key ring, just a few keys on it.
Thank you very much for your cooperation. What is your name?
Well, why? Why do you want to know? Why do you need it?
So I can assume your identity.
What?
Oh,
you heard him. What's your name?
Name or I take your face. Literally.
He'll do it.
Wait, all right. Galgrim. My name's Galgrim.
Nah, that's fine. I don't need your name. So.
All right.
Are there any guards up there, Galgrim?
There's Galgrim, but upstairs, yes.
In the vault?
Not in the vault, no.
Fantastic. So, siblings.
Yeah.
I don't think we can leave him down here conscious. He might scream. You know, he could get out of his bindings. So, I'm not saying we kill him. I'm just saying we knock him out for a little bit.
They did say we could do that, and it would be okay.
Wunderbar! Light hammer to the front of his forehead. Just,
yeah, you have him bound up and everything, so you just whack, and then he just slumps in Aja's grip.
Excellent.
Now, do we put him in the water? No, he'd drown.
No, that would be bad.
We could put him in here, in my bag.
Hannibal, no.
He'd be fine. I want my rope back. I want my rope back.
Well, we'll get it. We'll get it when we're done. They said that we could charge them.
Then we have to come back down here.
No, we'll make them buy us new rope that's not covered in poop.
Oh, good. 1 second, so. You guys go. You guys here. I hand Aja the keys.
No, you are not cutting off his fingers.
I'm not gonna cut off his fingers. I'm hiding his.
Or his toes.
I'm hiding him.
Okay.
You go ahead and scout, and I'm going to go hide him. Moloch, this way, please. Moloch will bark if we get in trouble.
Moloch will bark if he gets free toes, but okay.
And I'm going to grab, what's his name? Again?
His name?
Guggy?
Galgrim.
G-Money.
I'm going to take G-Money, and I'm going to drag him down the stairs that we came up.
Okay. The ones that lead down by the water?
Yeah, I'm dragging him by his ankles.
Okay.
So, and I'm gonna like drag him all the way back to that hole we came through.
Well, so the hole you came through is way back in the other direction.
Yeah, I won't be able to see. Okay, I'm just gonna cram. Like, can I find like a place just to cram him into?
Yeah, you can find like some stalagmites that rise up in this one area, and you can hide him behind those.
Pick him up and impale. No, I'm gonna shove him behind one.
Okay. Like cram him behind some stalagmites. Just got curled up and cramped.
And I'm gonna look around. Are my siblings watching me?
I don't know. Our siblings, are you watching?
Yes.
Okay. The two of them are
Absolutely.
watching. You are hidden deep in the shadows, but they both have dark vision.
I take his shoes and put them in my bag of holding.
Okay. So you see Hannibal just like untie his boots and then put them in his bag.
Does he have a gold purse on him?
Yes, he does.
I take that.
Okay. It's a pretty small one. He works at a bank, so he doesn't keep a ton of money on him. He probably keeps a lot of it in his bank, but it's his day-to-day spending.
What's in it?
You open it up. It's like a little tiny pouch about this big for, like buying lunch and stuff. You find 20 gold pieces in it.
I don't take any of it.
Oh, yeah.
But I do take the last gift finger.
Okay.
And I put it in the pouch.
Okay.
I tie it up.
Okay.
I think to myself, I think this is gonna work. And I tie it back to his person.
Mm-hmm.
I stand up
All right.
with Moloch and I go back to my siblings.
All right. Malik is like whining after the gift finger that you put into the bag.
Moloch, there's a lot of toes on that man. Do you see them? I don't think he'd miss one of them.
Malik just like quietly bares both sets of teeth.
No, Moloch, no.
Aww.
I have other stuff you can chew on later. For now, we have to rob a bank. Let's go. And I get back to Aja and Drusilla.
Okay. Hannibal returns.
All right, that was really good, guys.
That was kind of violent, not gonna lie, you guys.
He's fine. I hit him on the head with a hammer.
He's fine. He hit him on the head with a hammer.
I didn't use my sickle. I could have used my sickle.
No, he didn't cut off his toes or anything. I'm frankly a bit
I
surprised.
did steal his shoes, though.
I mean, the whole
Why did you do that?
You'll see later.
Sorry, Drusilla, you were saying?
the whole taking the face thing. I feel like there's a line of things that are okay and not, and we're all the way over there with that one.
We wouldn't really do it. It was just to make sure he
No,
would
of course
cooperate.
not. We wouldn't
No,
really
that-
take his face. No, why would we take his face?
No, that would be terrible. We
Yeah,
wouldn't
it would
do
be
that.
so bad. Why would we do it?
I wouldn't do that. Would you do that, Hannibal?
No.
We wouldn't do that. It was just a threat.
I'd only take your face.
I don't take any body parts,
I'd take all kinds.
but not faces.
But see now, look, when he wakes up and goes screaming to the bank, they'll be looking for Reggie and not us.
He saw us. You gave
right.
him our name.
You're right. He saw us sickle out.
Right, but this is all an exercise, right? Like, this is just pretend. So,
It's pretend until we die.
It's pretend until he tells people that you threatened to take his face.
But
Which-
we're just playing a game.
yeah, we'll just tell them it was part of the...
Line. Not okay.
What would you have done, Drusilla, just so we can all learn?
I feel like he would have cooperated with us after, I don't know, the first, hey, shut up or I'm going to hurt you.
Fine. I'll go rectify
fair.
this as well.
No, Hannibal, you stay here. You stay
I'm
right
not
by my
going to
side.
kill anyone. And
You stay right here.
I walk back down to his body and I use... This is I can end these at any time, I think. Yeah, I can do that. Cool. I'm gonna write on the wall with my magical glove above where the dwarf's body is, and I'm gonna use magical tinkering and put 25 words of text on the wall.
Okay.
That's like takes on the appearance of like glitter.
Okay.
Try to make it look nice, and saying, this was a test of your security. We were sent by Sansel Onyx Forge.
Okay, you just write that on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
We weren't going to take your face. Maybe you should tell him that because maybe he's worried
We
about
were
it.
not going to take your face. Signed, Hannibal.
All right. How long does that last for?
It lasts until I end it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, let me just double check for you. Oh, you touch a tiny non-magical object. So I'll say I'm touching one of the bricks and writing in very tiny lettering on the brick.
Okay.
Whenever tapped by a creature, the object emits a recorded message. But I'm not doing that. A static visual effect. This effect can give picture up to 25 words of text, lines, and shapes. It lasts indefinitely. As an action, you can touch the object. I have to touch the object to end it.
Well, if you do another magical tinkering, does it automatically end?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do 2 at a time.
Okay. So if you run out of,
It'll end.
yeah. So if you so you can end it from a distance then.
Yeah. So yeah, I wrote that as neatly as I could on a little brick.
One like right next to his head.
Yeah, one right next to his head.
So like he'll turn and look at it and see it. Okay.
And then I'll walk back over. See?
Okay.
Handwrote.
All right. Let's keep going before somebody misses him. Oh, we should have asked him why he came down here. Shoot. Oh, well. Too late.
To probably get water.
Yeah, you can see the
Found
2 filled buckets of water sitting next to the pool.
I wish we took a long rest before this. I could disguise myself as him.
All right. What are you guys
all
doing?
say to a little 8-hour nap down here?
Drusilla, do you want to lead again?
I feel like we might want to come back maybe at night when there's less chance of people coming down, and that way
That's a
Hannibal
good
can
plan.
rest.
So we go back to the sewer, sleep in the sewer.
But what if they come looking for this guy in the meantime?
Oh, that's true. We take him with us.
Oh, what are they gonna like put on like a full-on search of the sewers when he doesn't come back?
I doubt it.
What if he has a family?
See, we're not going to kill him or anything. It's just for the test.
But at the same
I
time,
could disguise myself as him and go be with his family.
That's wrong and creepy. Don't do that.
the things that we're gonna do, and then there's that idea. We're not gonna do that.
So, I kill him? No.
No.
So I think we sleep in the sewer. We bring him with us as a hostage. And then, when we are arrested and it's nighttime, we come back. I erase that message that's on the wall. And we come back and put him back there. I put the message back up. And then I turn myself into him. And we go into the bank and no one's the wiser.
But what if they come looking for him?
So, did any of you ever read this tome called Weekend at Bernie's?
I don't read Hannibal.
Oh. We could puppet his body, but that won't work. It seems we have gotten ourselves into a pickle.
So I think Drusilla's idea is the right one. I think waiting for night to go up there is totally smart. But
So that's why I said we sleep in the sewer, just in that area where
I'm
that area where we
just
made the
worried
hole.
if they start looking for this guy, like they're going to be alerted, and that would be bad. They'll know we're down here.
I have an idea. Do you trust me, everyone?
No.
Okay.
Slightly.
Watch what I can do, though. See? I look around and I cut off a piece of the rope that's not doing anything.
Okay.
And I watch this. I can do this to that wall that we broke through. We can hide on the other side. I take the rope and I stick it back to the part where I cut it off, and I cast mending on it with my magical glove.
Okay.
I can repair broken things.
That is clever.
So we could hide on the other side of that wall, and I painstakingly put every brick back into place, and as I do, I put my hand on it and repairs the wall slowly, and then we sleep on the other side with this dwarf, and then at nighttime we break back through the wall, knock the dwarf out again because he probably will need to,
And you could do your disguise trick.
and then I could do my disguise trick, and then I lead you two into the bank, or Drusilla could turn into something again, and if all else fails, she can call up someone's butt crack and expand, and then we are good. We win the bank heist.
Apart from the last part, I think that's a good plan.
Thank you. So let's go back. I'll erase this message, so I'm going to go touch that brick.
Okay, so you touch the brick and the message goes away?
Yep.
I'm going to shut the door
Okay.
to the passage.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we're doing. We're putting
And I'll
us-
try to obscure the footprints too as we have been here and as we go.
Did you still leave poop footprints coming this way?
Very faint ones. It's like a, dirt and rock and like pebble strewn floor. So you'd have to be looking very carefully to see them.
I'd like to try to make them obscured if there's a way.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of like there's some dust on the floor, so you can it looks like rock dust from the construction. So yeah, you can probably kind of just like sweep that as you go and mask your tracks.
And I'm
Okay.
dragging the dwarf by his ankles and having Moloch lead me through the darkness when we start going back through that tunnel.
Okay, so you make your way back. I guess Aja is cleaning up the tracks as you go.
Yep.
And yeah, you make it back to that crumbling wall.
So I'll go on the opposite side and I'll set the dwarf down nicely against the wall.
All right, so he's sitting in poop.
All right, everyone. So this is the plan. We're just gonna rest on this side, deal with the poop for the time being, and then I'll repair this wall. And I'm gonna painstakingly put each brick back into place, even the shattered ones if I can. I'll take the pieces of the shattered brick, put it together, and cast mending on the bricks that are broken.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna painstakingly put them each back into place and cast mending. And pray
Okay.
that I don't fully repair this wall to the way it was before.
Make me an intelligence saving throw to repair this wall to exactly the condition it was when you found it.
Can I help? Because I also have mending.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, advantage.
Then yes,
Thank
you
you
can.
so much.
And yeah, roll with advantage.
Because that was a 3 first. Intelligence saving throw?
Yes.
14 plus 4, so 18.
All right. Yeah, you managed to, between the two of you, you work together, and it's like putting together a puzzle with somebody. Like you find out where each thing goes and put it back, and you mend it just the right amount so that it's not so that it's complete and you can't see through it again. So it looks like it was when you first found it, and it's hard to find unless you're really looking for it or about to lean on it. But it's not, repaired to the point where you wouldn't be able to break back through.
Cool.
And then, yeah, you are back in the poop-filled sewers.
All right, so we take a long rest till nighttime.
So when it comes to taking a long rest, that's going to involve basically like taking a nap and sleeping and getting the fullest, most restful rest you can get. How would you like to accomplish that in a poop-filled sewer?
I take off my coat, revealing the white dress shirt with the frilled collar
Not anymore, it's not.
and my dirty poopy scarf that I have. And I just put my coat down and I lay on it.
Okay, so Hannibal is laying on his coat.
Using my bag of holding as a pillow.
Okay, so Hannibal has got it set up for resting for 8 hours.
You had a go first, Aja?
Just remember, I didn't do this. You did this. You did this. This is you. This is all you.
No hard feelings, Sam. I'm just going to prop myself up beside a wall. I'm going to have the dwarf beside me. And that's it. I'm not willing to soil myself. So if I have to eat a point of exhaustion, I'm happy to do it.
Okay. And Drusilla.
I'm gonna sit on the other side of the dwarf.
Okay.
Just sit right down, cross-legged.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mud, mud right now, and try and meditate to enter trance.
Make me a nature check.
It's just mud. Just mud. 14.
Okay. You sit down because you're using your elven meditation to rest, and you've spent so much time in the woods, you are a druid, you kind of tap into your connection to nature to calm yourself and convince yourself it's just mud and feel in tune with the natural process of nature occurring here. And you manage to kind of push the grossness out of your mind, and you're able to get a full rest. Hannibal, you get a full rest. Aja, you will get a full rest, but you will get a point of exhaustion because you're not quite as comfortable as you could be sitting up against the wall for 8 straight hours.
Fair.
Oh, I still have a scroll of fireball and a scroll of sand wall.
So, 8 hours later, at some point the dwarf wakes up. Drusilla, your trance is over by this point. Where he stirs and looks around, and you're like, and then, he tries to move, notices the ropes immediately, remembers where he is. You can hear some slight sounds get out of him. Then he looks and sees the two of you just pressed up on either side of him, and then he just gets quiet.
Shh, it's okay. It's okay. We're not gonna hurt you.
We're really not.
Aja, you're asleep.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, Aja's just asleep, leaning against him, and he's just looking up at her, terrified.
And I hope I've got my arm around him, and it's a little cozy.
Yeah, just.
It's okay. We really mean you no harm. This will all be explained soonish. Okay?
I imagine his forehead doesn't look great.
little significant bruise there, tiny little cut, trickle of blood.
If I take your gag out, will you scream?
His eyes roll up to Aja, who's got the arm around his shoulders and snores a little bit, and he just.
Okay, I'm gonna take the gag out.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I. Shh.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll reach over and just gonna.
You pull the gag down. It smells awful down here.
It really does, but unfortunately, it's where we are for the moment. It's just kind of how life is. Sometimes you just get covered in poop.
I was afraid to ask. I was pretending it wasn't, but that's what it is, isn't it?
Yes, unfortunately.
Can we say that I'm sleeping on my side now, and I have Maul pulled up to my chest with both arms over him, cuddling him?
Yes, that's happening. Hannibal's curled up around Moloch, who is just happily sleeping in this nest of arms.
Alright. So, first off, are you okay? Aside from, being in a sewer of poop.
I think so.
Okay. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe we got properly introduced. I'm Drusilla. And you?
I'm Galgrim.
It won't hurt you, she's a sweetheart.
Eat his toes, eat the toes.
They both said they were going to take my face.
didn't. And I had a talk with them about that. I promise I won't take your face.
That's good.
It's good, okay?
Hannibal technically will.
If I explain what's going on, will you keep a secret?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever you need. Yes.
Okay. What's his name? Do you know Thansel Onyx Forge?
Yeah. Of course. He owns the bank.
Yeah, okay. He hired us to test the security of the bank, and you just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Make me a persuasion check.
Roll bad. Roll bad.
Don't jinx it. So 1.
Oh.
He's like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. He doesn't disagree with you, but he still seems very tense.
And jinxed me.
And
Do you have any questions for me? I've got a few hours before they wake up, so I will be completely honest with you.
No, I no questions. Just what do I need to do? When can I go home?
It's a good question. When these two wake up, we will decide that.
Okay,
Okay? You don't have to be scared, friend.
okay.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Tears running down his face. Okay, yeah, no, okay.
Don't cry.
Sorry.
Do you want a hug?
No,
Okay.
unless you. He just looks completely lost for words and confused.
Do you want me to get, her big scary off of you?
Will that make her angry?
No, she likes me. I won't make her angry.
Okay.
I'm gonna just lift Asha's arm off.
Okay.
Just kind of gently.
Okay, so you lift Aja's arm off. Aja starts, because she was leaning on him to one side, when you lift the arm off and push the other way, Aja starts to tip the other way.
I'm just gonna kind of hold as much as I can, just hold her up.
So you just like get up and move around to Aja's other side?
We're gonna have like the one arm to like hold her, and then just the other hand just like in,
Mm-hmm.
So like
holding
I'm
up.
facing her.
Aja's just leaning to one side, at danger of just plopping over.
I'm not very strong. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
It's not. It doesn't take too much to keep her. It's mostly a momentum thing.
Okay. All right. See? There we go. I got her off of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just gonna hold Asha up. Just like, oh, hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
Hi.
it's just about time for you to wake up, and Drusilla's like leaning across the dwarf, holding you from falling sideways into the poop.
Is it time?
Oh, eats her fingers, eats her toes. Make a nice snack.
God, I don't feel rested at all. Oh,
Yes, Aja, you have 1 level of exhaustion.
disadvantage on skill checks.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Aja, don't get mad. Don't be mad.
Okay.
I took the gag out of the dwarf's mouth.
Hello.
He's really nice.
Okay. I'm not mad.
Okay, all right. She's not mad. See, she's not mad.
Okay. And you look over, you can just see this miserable-looking dwarf just crying in between the two of you.
I'm gonna lean forward towards him, like full Aja moment.
Well, you're sitting next to like I'm picturing you guys are just lined up against the wall, so you're right to your left.
I'm gonna lean around him and I'm just gonna start to wipe away his tears. It's okay. I wasn't gonna eat your face. I really wasn't.
Okay.
Poor guy.
Thanks for being so cooperative. I hope you got some rest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So hey,
I feel great.
oh, you're here. That vault. You know that vault?
Uh-huh.
I meant to ask this earlier before I hit you, and I'm really sorry. It slipped my mind. And I just wanted to make sure I knew before I hit you again. How do you get to the vault from where that room is, where you came out of?
It's it's okay. You go.
Easy.
Okay.
Just take your time.
Okay.
It'll be okay.
Yeah. It's you go through the door.
Uh-huh.
You go down the hall to the end, and then you take a right, and then it's another right, and then the vault should be on your left.
Hall right, left.
Mm-hmm. It's right in the middle of everything, right in the center.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're being really cooperative, and we appreciate that.
Okay.
You're doing great, G-Money. You're doing great.
All right.
Should we get Hannibal up and get going?
Yeah, I'll go wake him up.
Wait. Before we do, I have a thought. Just sit there. I want to try and make my way quietly to where Hannibal is.
Okay.
Asha, don't start shit, please.
It's gonna be fine. I promise. It's gonna be
Asha,
fine.
please.
And I'm gonna kneel down beside Hannibal.
Okay.
Try to get close to his ear without disturbing him.
Make me a stealth check.
Ooh, come on. Good. Who's a good dice today?
With disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Oh no, I need 2. Let's see. Okay, that's a 13 and a 14.
Okay, is that total?
Yeah, 13. Yeah, sorry, 13. That's right.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Hannibal is fast asleep, so you manage to make your way up right next to.
I do have a passive perception of 9, and Moloch has a passive perception of 15. If that's coming. Into play
That's
at
true.
all. Yeah.
So Moloch, actually, you're right. So Hannibal is completely asleep and doesn't notice you as you approach. Moloch perks up and looks at you as you're getting closer.
I'm gonna hold out one of my fingers for Moloch to gnaw on and see if it'll keep him quiet.
Okay, Moloch just reaches forward. Starts biting into your finger and like starts, actually like eating your finger.
Yeah, this won't take long. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna kneel down.
Real quick. Make me a Constitution saving throw to not react loudly to that.
Okay. Is this
like your natural instinct is going to be to pull away from that?
Is this a disadvantage as well?
No, because it's not a skill check; it's a saving throw.
All right, I'm good at this one. 21.
Okay, so you just leave your finger in Moloch's mouth and just take it, and just no reaction, was stone faced, and you can lean in right up close to Hannibal.
Yep, right up next to his ear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say, the poop ghosts want you to be nicer to Aja and Drusilla. Be nice, says the poop ghost. And that's it.
Okay. As you pull away and you move your hand away, Moloch is still like biting at it. You take 2 points of piercing damage.
Fair.
And your finger is bleeding just profusely from all of these little bites and like where like little bits of skin have been bitten and torn away.
I'll wrap it up and take my seat beside the wall.
Okay. Make me a Constitution saving throw real quick. Oh yeah, Drusilla, when you wake up this morning, you kind of like your eyes are a little watery and your nose is running a little bit. not enough to have like not enough to have a full effect on any rolls or anything, but just enough to just you're a little stuffy and your eyes are a little watery.
It's just because of the mud. It's
You do
the
not
mud.
want the full effect of a death dog bite.
-21.
Yeah, you are fine, however.
Shall we get Hannibal up?
I'll go wake him up nicely.
Yeah, I think this is gonna work. It's gonna be like subliminal, and he's gonna think about it. You know.
Sure. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna use the quarterstaff to just conk him in the shoulder.
Okay.
I don't want
Hannibal
to
goes something poking at you.
I sit
get
up.
up.
Hello. Ah,
It's-
there he is, and look directly at the dwarf.
Hello.
I put my coat back on.
Covered. The whole backside is just covered.
I take out my water skin and just get it off as best as I can.
You can get some off. There's just such a level of caked on after 8 hours of laying in it
Yeah.
that like it really just like it gets a little bit off and it runs just solid brown as the water runs off, but just there's just so much of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, put my coat back on, put my bag of holding back around my waist that I use as a pillow, and I'm gonna walk over to the dwarf and kneel down in front of him.
Hannibal will be nice.
Hello, little man.
Hello.
So, I took your shoes. I don't know if you noticed.
You can have them.
Oh, I don't want them. They were just for entertainment, and I give him back his shoes.
Thank you. They just sit on his lap because his hands and his arms are tied.
Oh, let me put those on for you.
Okay.
I won't cut off your toes. I put on his shoes for him, and I say, so...
The whole time you're putting his shoes on, he like just is completely tense because he's been spending all night listening to you mutter in your sleep about eating toes.
Now, I didn't take your money either, but I put something in there for you. A sort of present for all the trouble we are giving you. That said, I take his coin purse again,
Mm-hmm.
and I dump 50 gold into it. For your troubles.
I'm gonna look at Ash. Like, what the
And I drop it on his waist. Or on his lap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna mouth to Drusilla. It worked.
Thank you.
Now, I'm so sorry I have to do this. But we can't have you running off and telling anybody what we're doing. And I reach my hand for his throat. And I just pat him gently on the forehead. You're not going to tell anyone, are you?
No.
Are you?
No, I won't. I won't tell anybody, I swear.
That is very good to hear, my friend. We can celebrate after we're done. Where do you live?
Around here.
Don't worry, I already know. So, everyone, shall we heist?
Let's heist.
Leave him here.
Oh,
Yes, he'll be fine down here. Look, it's all the water he has to drink.
no.
Oh, okay, fine. Galgrim, just remember when this happens, I offered the chance for you to be comfortable down here. And
I'm
Zameen,
fine here. I'm
See,
comfortable.
he's-
It's fine.
he's
I think we
comfortable.
could just leave him here and knock him out again.
I could just sit. That's also okay.
Are
I mean,
you
I don't-
sure, friend?
See, he's fine. Look,
Make the poor man
one
cry,
second.
Hannibal.
1 second. I need him. 1 second. These could be very rare. another vial, and I
Mhm.
collect his tears.
Our dwarf is going to be so much therapy.
I'm gonna try to wipe them away again. It's gonna-
Just Hannibal and Aja just like right up on his face, like, wiping the tears and collecting them, and he's just like trying to press himself back into the wall as much as he can.
Can I push the
I'm
two
gonna-
of them away? Like, just
Certainly try.
I
Go.
will step away.
Yeah, I will too after I get my tears.
Okay.
Galgrim, you'll be very comfortable down here. I won't knock you out. But
Okay.
unfortunately, I can't have you making any sounds. So I take his
Well, just
shoes and I
gag.
cram one of his shoes in his mouth.
Oh no. Let's use the gag. Come on.
This is a gag. I need my rope.
The rope is also binding his arms and legs too.
True, I take the shoe out and put it back in his lap. Wait a minute, I have a wonderful idea. How long is his beard?
About like down to like his stomach.
I just like grab it and like shove it in his mouth. Are you going to keep that in there? See everyone? It's fine. He likes it.
Can we go now?
Yes. Hammer to that wall again.
He like flinches, but as you like swing the hammer, but you hit it into the wall and you manage to like bust it apart and create that nice hole again.
Could you two go through first, please? I'm going to, repair it as we go through. You know what? No, this will it'll take too much time. Let's just go.
Okay. I'm going through.
Okay.
Bye, Galgrim.
We'll be back, G-Money.
I'm so sorry.
Don't get eaten by the carnivorous rats.
It'll be okay. There aren't any rats.
And I go through.
Just as you go through, echoing through the tunnel, you could just hear.
Guys, we're being so unnecessarily cruel to him.
We're going to give him a cut of this money. That's what we're going to do.
I gave him 50 gold.
Well, we'll give him some more and maybe take him to dinner.
And I gave him his shoes back.
That was very nice of you, Hannibal.
Let's go rob
And we
the
didn't
bank.
do anything to his face. I agree. Let's go rob the bank.
Didn't do anything to his face. What the hell was the whole collecting tears and stuff like that? That's still doing stuff to his face.
That's true, Hannibal. That was pretty weird.
These tears are very rare components for magical spells.
What spell?
It's a secret.
Well, share with this group.
I don't share secrets. I keep secrets.
Well then. Fine.
Onwards to
discuss
the
this later.
bank.
All right, yeah, you're all making your way forward, and you come back into that cavern that you saw before. The lantern has been put back up on its hook, and the buckets have been moved from where they were before. So it looks like someone else has come down here in the meantime.
So how far away do you think the bank itself is?
I mean, that's the doorway. The doorway leads basically into the basement.
Oh, wunderbar. So, watch and learn, siblings. And I do the, John, you can't see me. And I cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
And I take on the appearance of not Galgrim, because I had a better idea, of Thansel Onyx Forge.
Okay. Turn into Thansel.
G-Money.
Just into the owner of the bank.
Okay, yeah, you shrink down a little bit and turn
Smells
into
like
him.
Shit.
Yeah, reeks of it.
Oh, 1 second, and I jump in the pool.
Okay. So jump in and like shimmy around. You can see it just immediately gets brown and cloudy.
And I climb out.
Okay.
See?
Dripping wet with water.
Fine. Wunderbar. Shall we go? And I open the door.
It is locked.
Keyring that I gave
Okay.
to. Nobody took it, so I'm just gonna.
Okay, so you try some of the keys. There's not many on there, and one of them, unlocks the door, and it will open.
What's the story? What should we do?
I have found you in the bank, and I am taking you as my prisoners.
That seems like a bad idea. They'll call the guards or something.
I am taking you to the vault for personal reasons.
I don't think anybody
business,
would believe that.
Business. I'm the owner of the bank. I'm Sunstone Onyx Forge.
You're not the. Oh, you're Onyx Forge.
Yeah.
He turned into the owner.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you turned into the poor grinder.
Nope. This is a business opportunity.
Oh.
We're business owners.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, business owners. That's good. Not prisoners.
Not prisoners. Let's go. And I step through the doorway.
Okay, you step through the doorway, and you find it is incredibly dark in the bank, and you hear and see no one.
1 second. I turn around, go back in that room, and I reach up and grab the lantern.
Okay, you grab the lantern. As you come, because you guys, it was about let's see, mid-afternoon when you rested. So let's say around 4. You rested for 8 hours. It's like midnight.
So yeah, I grab the lantern, I turn around. Follow
Okay.
me this way, business partners. Oh, Moloch. You are the new guard dog for the bank. And through the doorway.
Okay, yeah, you go through the doorway, and you come out into a dark and abandoned basement of the bank.
All right, Drusilla, which way do we go?
He said, down the hall, to the right, and then to the right, and it was on the left.
I have an identity.
I got those backwards.
I have high intelligence.
Straight, right, left.
I follow those directions.
Okay. And as you're going, once you get to your first intersection, Drusilla, you actually recognize it. It's disorienting for a second because you're full size. But you do manage to identify one of the areas you were skittering around as a spider as you left the vault. And you're able to verify the directions. And yeah, you guys can find your way right back over to them. Right back over to the vault. And you can see it caged off and closed right there.
Ta-da! The vault.
I try the keys on it.
Even looking at it, these keys are all pretty small, and it looks like the vault key is very, very large.
I have such a bad idea.
Hannibal.
Everyone, stand back and let me work my magic.
Can I take Moloch?
Please take Moloch. Yes, thank you. And I hand Moloch. Moloch,
Okay.
I don't want you to die. I love you so much. And I kiss each forehead.
Okay.
And I hand him to Drusilla.
All right, he goes over, and he does not bite because there was a natural 20 on don't bite Drusilla, so he will never bite Drusilla again.
Nice.
Aja, you probably should stand back too.
What are you going to do?
Something magical.
Remember that any damages we incur come out of our pay.
Yeah. And remember that you are the owner of the bank, so don't blow anything up because owners of banks don't blow up their own banks.
I'm not blowing anything up, Aja.
And don't make
in
poop.
your life for once.
Owners of banks don't create poop storms either.
I'm not going to create a poop storm. I'm going to make something far better.
Oh, you
20th level.
Create a poop storm.
20th level. Hannibal's going to research his own spell and create the 9th level spell Poop Storm.
Yeah, he is. All right. How far back you guys going to get?
How far back do we need to be, Hannibal?
Yeah.
It's
a range here.
Let me look it up on D&D Beyond. You know, the best app for Dungeons and Dragons of all time. Sorry, it's taking a bit to load. So in the meantime, Hannibal's just gonna be rubbing his hands together vicariously, and not really the word I wanted. Happily, gleefully.
Okay.
Lethally. Oh.
Gleefully, not lethally.
Oh, I heard lethally.
Could be lethally though.
No, I think you've got the right of it.
You guys might want to get back 20 feet.
30 it is.
And I'm gonna get back 20 feet as well. 25 feet. Just out of
you guys
range.
basically just at the next corner, like you're all peeking around the corner of the hall.
And I take out one of the scrolls.
Okay.
Oh.
I unfurl it.
Okay.
And
real real quick, which one are you taking out?
You know which one I'm taking out.
Make me an Arcana check real quick.
Oh, okay.
Please make it. Please make it. Please make it.
That is a 16.
So, taking out the scroll and looking at it and thinking about the effects of it.
Well, I do have a bag of holding.
What?
It was in my bag of holding, and I thought of what scroll I wanted.
I know. I'm saying
Okay.
like as you're thinking this through and about to cast it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Fireball is the scroll you took out.
There is a saving throw to see if you cast it successfully, though.
Well, I was gonna say as you're taking it out and thinking about it, Fireball doesn't have a lot of concussive force. It's mostly just a wave of heat.
Okay, then.
So it would probably actually the door itself being made of metal would get very hot, but would not necessarily be damaged. However, everything around it and the bank itself would probably be lit on fire.
Oh, okay. Let me think how awesome that would be.
We're not burning down a bank.
It would. You're aware.
That's
I'm
not
telling
bad.
you, you are very much aware that it would do nothing to get you into the vault.
Okay. I take out the other scroll then,
Okay.
and I'm gonna look up that one real quick. That
All
was
right.
wall of sand, correct?
Just a giant wall of sand. Yeah. I think it's not even solid. It's like swirling sand. So it's like similar to a wind wall in that way, and that things can move in and out of it.
Couldn't we just try the keys?
They don't fit. I already tried. I'm sorry, Angel.
What about a thunder wave?
We could knock on the door and see if someone comes through and just.
Well, you can
punch
actually
them.
you can see the thing is it's kind of like like an old time. Imagine like an old Western jail cell where the wall is nothing but bars.
Mhm.
That's the vault. So you can see straight inside. You can see the entire room from out of it. Then the bars are about this far apart.
I'm going to try to cast wall of sand into the lock.
Okay, so you're basically going to try to have it originate from inside the lock
Yeah.
and then expand out from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need to do an intelligence ability check of 13 to see if I actually do it. If not,
Yes.
the scroll just disappears. Well, it disappears from the scroll.
Right, so the scroll is used up, basically.
Yeah, so an intelligence check, not a save.
I will tell you before you roll that because you're trying to localize it in that specific area and do something a little weird with the spell, that will bump the DC up by 2 to a 15.
Fuck. All right.
Because you are trying to be very specific and direct and like precise.
Yeah.
But very large and
Yep.
complex.
Yep. Yeet me that success. Intelligence. And it's just a check, so it's not a saving throw. Hold on.
Correct.
Ability check. Fuck, that's an 11.
Okay. So you pull out this scroll and you start reading from it, and like it's flaring into life, and all the words on it start to glow. But then it begins to like flicker, and you can see like this little swirl of sand over on and around the lock. But it starts to flicker, and as it does, the sand begins to falter and move, and you realize you're losing it, and then it flares into life and looks like the spell is used up, but then the sand just falls to the ground.
Out of frustration, I'm gonna hold the other scroll in my hand and just shake it. Do I do this? I know it could be bad. I know it would be very bad and not count too much, but do I do it? Aja, do I do this?
Do what?
Melt the
No,
lock.
don't miss it.
Burn the lock off.
Can you burn metal off like that?
I can melt it with my mind.
I bet you probably can't. So let's not do that.
My dog that's in here thinks I can do it. Is right, Malik?
You look like the owner of the bank. Why don't you just go get a key? Go get one of the guards. Tell them to come down here by themselves, and we'll jump them and take their keys.
That's probably a better idea. And I put my scroll of fireball away in the bag
Okay.
of holding. And I try to go find a guard.
Okay.
I have an hour of this, so I'm being as quick as possible for my disguise self.
All right. So you managed to. Drusilla can direct you to where the stairs are from here.
And you two stay down here. I run up the stairs.
How about we take up positions opposite the entryway so we can't be seen as they come through?
Oh, good
Great.
idea. Yes, Senko. And I run up the stairs.
All right, you go up the stairs, leaving a trail of wet footprints as you go.
Okay.
And yeah, you make it upstairs. You go up into the upper level of the bank. You can recognize one of the back hallways where you passed by when you recognize one of the hallways that you walked by as you went back to use the chamber pot.
Okay.
And you can see the lantern light out in like the lobby area. You can see the lantern light of a person.
I come out and approach the person. Oh, hello there, bank worker.
You see one person, guard, standing there, sword sheathed on his hip, wearing armor and holding a lantern. Turns around, Mr. Onyx Forge, sir. What are you doing here?
Well, I got some business partners down at the vault, and we got to get into the vault. Unfortunately, one of our ex-employees pushed me into our well and took my keys and my supplies. His name was Galgrim. I believe he fled into the sewers after robbing me.
He's been missing all day. We've been looking for him.
Exactly. He mugged me, threw me into the water. I just awoke. That's why I'm so sopping wet, as you can see. And he stole my keyring and money from my persons.
All right, make me a deception check, please.
Oh, no. Not with advantage because I look like him?
There is some inconsistencies in the story, and like you are dripping wet. There's just a few things that you're trying to get him not to notice, like the fact that your disguise looks dry and you're dripping wet. Yes.
That's an 18.
Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of things about this, like the fact that you're claiming you were underwater for like the past 8 hours and are fine, and the fact you look perfectly dry, but you're leaving a puddle underneath you. But it's dark, and you manage to get the mannerisms and the personality just right, and leverage the whole like boss-employee relationship to the point where he's like, yes, of course, sir. I don't have a key on me. I don't keep a key. But I suppose we could get one from one of the teller stations.
That sounds about right. Good employee. You deserve a raise for helping me out so well.
Thank you. Yes.
How much do we pay you per year?
Per year. You can see him as like sitting there and trying to do the math.
Weekly.
15 gold per week, sir.
That is ludicrous. How about we pay you 200 gold a week for your fine efforts today?
If you insist.
I do insist. And just so I can keep a track of these records there, dear employee, what's your name?
Oh, well. So, and I forgot. I suppose this guy is a dwarf. I don't know if I mentioned that, because like everyone that works at this bank is a dwarf. Yeah. My name is Holdek, sir.
Holdek, yeah. Yeah, you'll get 200 gold per week now for helping me out. And I'll bump that up to 300 if you can find Galgrim. And get back
right away, sir. Of course.
They saw him fleeing down these stairs from the well, whatever's down there. I heard a wall being collapsed, so that might be your best bet.
Would you like me to look right now?
No. Just let's go get those keys. We'll meet my business partners down in the vault, and we can go from there. How's that sound?
Do you need me to guard you while you have your business partners?
Yes, that might be best. I don't know them too well, but they do have a lot of coin, and they want to invest in the bank, so...
All right, then I'll come with you.
Thank you so much, Holdek. Right. Let's go get those keys.
All right. So he basically told you where to find them, so you can get them. You can pretty much get them yourself.
I go get them myself.
All right. He's following you. Yeah, you go around back into the teller stations, and it looks like they keep. As you look, it takes you a second, but it's not hard to notice. Right back where they sit, just a cursory glance.
All right.
There's a very large, heavy metal key under each of the desks on a hook that you can pick up.
I grab them.
Okay.
All right, Holdek, let's go.
Right away, sir. And he follows after you.
And I make sure I'm talking really loud so Aja and Drusilla can hear me coming with Holdek. So, Holdek, how long have you been working with us?
Since we opened, sir.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I definitely think you are in well order to get that 300 gold a week raise.
If you think so, sir, I very much appreciate
I
it.
have a lot
And yeah,
of good things about you, Holdeck.
you guys can hear this conversation loudly coming down the stairs.
And as I round the corner, there are my business partners, Aja and Drusilla.
I think they're staying out of sight, actually.
Yeah, we were hiding behind the entryway.
It's
Waiting.
fine. I'm down here now. You guys can show yourselves. Holdeck is a very good employee of the bank. Very well trusted, very adaptable, and about to be 300 gold coins richer every week for helping us out here.
Just for context, real quick, a comfortable lifestyle costs like 1 gold a day. A wealthy lifestyle costs like upwards of 5 gold a day. So
Yeah.
he's currently sitting at like a fairly comfortable, like approaching wealthy lifestyle from being a high-end bank guard. 300 gold a week is an absurd amount of money. I just want to make that clear.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't
So,
expect anything less.
business partners, I think it's time we put your investment into the vault. Holdeck will be here for security purposes, just in case that dastardly Galgrim decides to come back and mug me again. Isn't that right, Holdeck?
Yes, sir. I'll keep an eye out for him.
Wonderful.
Is this dwarf armed?
Yes, he is. Has a sword and is wearing armor. He also when you mention Galgrim again, he says, "Would you like me to? I can at any moment, sir. I can say the word, and I'll go and immediately begin looking for him."
Thank you. That would be much appreciated. Yes, please go get him. Go look for
Right
him.
now.
Yes, in the sewers.
I would. So how much context could Aja have picked up? Because this is not the plan that we left with.
Correct. You do see not Hannibal holding a very large key that looks like it would fit into the vault door.
Into the lock.
Okay. So are you telling the guard to go and look for Galgrim, or are you telling him to stay here?
Galgrim.
All right. He's yes, sir, and he's gonna rush off in that direction, leaving
All
you
right,
guys
as he
alone.
goes, I'm gonna try to take him.
Okay.
No.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to grapple him.
What are you doing? And I open
Make
the
me
vault.
the athletics check.
Plan was to jump him.
No.
That was the plan.
All right. Athletics, go ahead.
Or is there? Again, is there context that Aja would have, like, so that she would know the plan has changed?
Well, so I think because the plan was to jump him to get his keys.
Uh-huh.
But you can see that Hannibal has the key already. And is like pointedly trying to send him away from you.
Yeah.
Would she understand? What do you think, Sam? Would she understand, or do I need to make a check?
How about an intelligence saving throw? All right, no, let's make it wisdom. Let's make it a wisdom saving throw to see if you can, you can intuit the situation to figure out exactly what's happening here.
Is this a disadvantage as well?
It's a saving throw, so no.
Okay. 18.
Okay, yeah. In a remarkable spark of sudden momentary insight, you realize, like, oh, I see. Hannibal got the key. If this guy's here, like, he thinks Hannibal's the bank owner, and Hannibal's sending him away. If he just sends him away, then we just have the vault to ourselves.
Okay. Okay. I'll do the rest later. All right. I will just stay where I am.
Okay, and he hurries off in that direction, just as Hannibal opens the vault.
Is he gone?
He is, yeah, you hear him. He goes off to basically start searching the caves where you came from.
Wunderbar, we did it, everyone.
Hannibal,
Yes.
we have to take the gold where he went.
No, we don't.
Yeah, Hannibal, you do think back. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before. It seemed like he was the only guard you saw in the whole place.
Where else do we go?
Out the front doors.
What if there's other guards?
I look like the owner of the bank. I have a bag of holding. We just put the money in the gold in here.
Not supposed to take anything.
Oh,
Well, we can give it back.
he said that he wanted us to test its security.
I'm with Hannibal. I say dump the gold in the
So
bag.
yeah,
Let's
just
go.
dump in as much gold as I can into the bag of holding.
Okay, so you just take the bag of holding, open it up, and then you start grabbing. Yeah, it's all of these. They're very like short metal drawers, set with grooves, almost like kind of like a pack of Oreos, that the coins sit in rows. So yeah, you can just basically pull these drawers out and just drop them directly into the bag of holding, one after the other. Just. Foom, foom.
I think we need just enough to make the point. So let's, being conscious of time.
Yeah, because I have an hour of this. I don't know how much time I've used on my disguise self yet.
Not very long at
Okay,
all.
cool. So as that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave one gold coin in the center of the floor.
Okay. Well, there's a table in the middle of the room. You can
I'm
like
gonna
set
put
it
it
on
on the table.
there. Okay.
I'm
I
gonna put magical tinkering on that coin,
okay.
and I'm gonna have it, when touched, it's going to emit a recorded message that can be heard 10 feet away that says, "This little bank heist was orchestrated by one
By the
Galgrim
ghost.
and Reggie." And I just put that on the table.
Okay.
Zelwanta puts that gold coin back, so once they touch it, they'll hear the message. Now,
Let's go.
to his front doors, and I.
Yeah. Real quick, also, I'm pretty sure you are. I'm just double checking the math on this. I
Yeah.
think you are taxing the weight limit of your bag of holding, actually.
I might be. Yeah, hold on.
Because
I
it's
don't want it to
500.
burst.
Yeah, it holds 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And let's see.
I do have a gift body in there that's like broken apart in pieces.
I'll say there's like 150 pounds worth of gith in there.
Yeah, I have him in there. I have the Structure of the Great Wheel book, the Demonology book,
Mm-hmm.
the Safety Deposit Box slip.
So the gift is the really only thing that has
That's
significant amount of
That's
weight.
it. That's
Okay.
in there. All my other vials are around my bandolier that I wear.
Okay. So you've got 350. Oh, wait, hang on. All right. Yeah. You get a lot of, you don't necessarily get, you cannot completely empty the vault, but you can take like you can clear out like several of these cabinets worth of
Because
drawers.
I assume I would know the carrying capacity of my bag of holding, so I wouldn't want to exceed that.
Yeah, you can do these calculations too, knowing about the weight of a coin and everything. So you figure you get about, factoring the weight, like since in order to get expediency, if you just basically drop the drawer in, you have to add the weight of the drawer in too. But they're not very heavy compared to the weight of the gold. That just kind of rounds you out to be, you could probably, basically, doing the calculations, you could probably fit about 15,000 gold in your bag of holding.
I'll just add 15,000 gold to my equipment right now.
If you want to be safe and not risk getting too close to the bursting point, you might want to aim for more around 10,000.
Let's add 10,000.
Okay, so you steal 10,000 gold pieces from this bank.
So I have 10,054 gold pieces on my person.
You do.
All right, everyone, to the front doors.
To the front door.
Okay, so you head back upstairs. The bag of holding is exactly the same weight as it was. You head upstairs and you get to the front door.
And I unlock it with my keys.
Yep. Yeah. One of the keys that.
Yeah.
One of the keys that Galgrim had, but it was a front door key.
Okay, cool. And
you can
walk outside.
Open that. Door swings open and you can walk outside.
Where do we go?
And I lock the door behind us.
Okay.
We should go to what's his name's Leslie, Laryl, Larry.
Fansel?
No.
Lucas?
Lucas. Because G Money knows what we look like. So we don't want to go to the inn.
That's why I'm keeping his disguise. And he's currently tied up in the sewer.
and Lucas can
Right
get
where you
us.
sent the guard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
Uh-huh.
he didn't see me turn
Let's
into
go to
this,
Lucas
though. He
and-
didn't
and-
see me turn into this.
Let's go to Lucas and tell him we've done the job, and then let's just be done with this.
Yep,
Because it's going to go south really fast.
indeed. Let's go.
Okay. So you can make your way north. You get to the riverfront district. You cross the river. You go into that cistern area where Lucas's office is, and you can get up to his office door.
I knock on and go, "Hey, yo, this is Vansel Onyx Forge. Got something to tell you."
By the time you get there,
Oh, yeah,
actually,
probably,
it
goes away.
wears off. Yeah, because it only lasts an hour.
All right, so I'm Hannibal again.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, it's us.
Nothing happens you don't hear anyone at first, but then just like right in the middle of the door, you see a seam appear, like an curved seam appear in the door, and then it opens and parts in the shape of a mouth, and it says, "Well, hello there. It seems that you are trying to get in contact with me after hours.
I know it's spelled.
I will be in the office in the morning. If you are attempting to rob me, I highly would ask you to not do that, for you will find yourself in a world of trouble." And then the mouth closes and then vanishes.
That's almost like it's a magic mouse.
No, mouth, not mouse.
So, I guess we have to wait till morning.
Yeah, let's just wait here so we can get him right away.
Yes, sounds good. And I just sit up against the door. Just drop.
Okay. So you just sit down in this dry, older, unused sewer area. And there's like, as you pass by, there was like a bunch. This is where a lot of the homeless population lives, because it's right on the riverfront, and it kind of has this overhang to it, so it is sheltered.
Yeah.
From any rain or elements or anything. So you kind of sit there and you wait the several hours it's going to take for him to arrive in the morning. But as you can see, the sun beginning to glitter on the river down the tunnel. Or actually starting to glow from fairly down the tunnel. You can't see all the way to the river from here. Eventually you hear just whistling and footsteps coming down the tunnel towards you.
Lucas?
And then the footsteps stop and he's, yes?
Hello, it's me, Hannibal.
All
And
right,
Drusilla Nausea.
you don't hear anything, but then next thing you know, you see Lucas come around the corner and walk up to you. "Oh, can I ask what you are doing at the door to my office at this time in the morning?"
We completed
Waiting
the job.
for you. Can we come in?
Yes, can we come in? What I just
It's
said.
urgent.
Oh, did you say you completed the job?
No, we said it's urgent. Can we come in?
Oh, Hannibal said we completed the job. Oh, either way, yes. Let us go inside. And
No,
he... Oh, that you did. Okay.
No, I did.
Okay. Well, in that case, let us go inside and we can proceed from there. And then he just kind of stands to the side, and then you hear the footsteps resume, and Lucas walks around the corner, and then the other Lucas vanishes, and then he goes up, pulls out some keys, and unlocks the door.
Oh, that is a very
That
good
was so
trick.
cool.
Can you teach me how to do that?
It's a bit of a specialized skill.
Never mind then.
And then yeah, he unlocks he covers the door with himself, and he pulls out some keys, and you only saw the one keyhole, but it seems like there's a bit more of an involved process to getting this door open than just turning the key. But after a couple seconds, he manages to get it open, and then swings the door wide and steps inside and starts heading up to his desk.
Okay. I follow.
All right, yeah, you go inside. As he comes in, he claps his hands, and all of the candles, torches, and like lanterns, basically the lights in the room, all just flicker into life.
We did it.
Yes, we robbed the bank.
Ooh,
Can
well,
you get the dwarf here before we get into like serious trouble?
Yes.
yeah, of course. I will contact him and let him know. Now, I am not going to ask by what means you achieved this.
The sewer.
All right. Perhaps before you meet with
this with Mr. Onyx Forge, you would like to refresh yourselves and clean up a bit.
Oh, bless you, yes.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
I will secure a meeting, and he's a busy man, but I'm sure he'll want to know about this. So sometime very soon, he'll probably want to speak to you.
He probably is going to know about it very quickly.
I'm sure he will. He'll want to set up a meeting, though.
Very quickly. He's going to know
Yes.
about this.
All right.
Yeah.
I will set up a meeting. He'll want to make sure he is prepared to not only hear the story, but take full records and walk through the security of it. So he's going to need to set up some preparations on his end. So did you take anything from the bank?
Yes. And I take my bag of holding. I dump all 10,000 gold. I took about 10,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, and you
We
take out
thought it
and
best if we had proof.
the drawers and everything fall out on his desk and just like scatter, and they're like cascading off the desk. And he just sits back and watches this. Well, you were in fact very successful. Yes, he's going to want to meet with you very soon.
Uh-huh.
Do I get to keep any of this 10,000? Like just all of it? Do I get to keep all of it? All of it?
No. Remember, there were the terms of your payment were negotiated previously. He will pay you for that. And did you incur any damages or injury to any personnel?
No.
We did incur expenses, and yes, there was injury.
All right. Well, any expenses, I believe, will be compensated. Any amount of injury will be compensated for to the injured parties for healing and apology. But aside from that, I believe your bonus will also include anything that was not spent.
I do have these keys that I got from one of the employees, and I give him Galgrim's keys, not the
vault key?
Not the vault key.
All right. Oh, thank you very much. I will make sure these get back to him post haste, and you can presumably he will want to invite you in, walk through the bank, and he would like you to walk him through the process that you used in person so that he can visually confirm everything and make sure he can close up any of those gaps in his security that you took advantage of so that others cannot.
That sounds wonderful. Yes.
Where's the staff?
Well, I assumed you had your own methods of cleaning yourselves up. I was going to contact you later today.
You were providing one. I'm sorry.
You see, I was kicked out of a place of establishment where I could base myself.
Oh, well, I wasn't, so I'm going to go and do that.
Do you know where I could bathe myself?
Yeah, you could go to the sewers.
That sounds like a that sounds like counterproductive there. No, you bring up an excellent point. Why don't? Oh yes. Now that I think about it, there is an establishment. Do you remember where we first encountered each other, where we first met?
Yes.
There was a series of inns and taverns and other places that other establishments such as that.
Wonderful. Yes.
He like reaches under the pile of coins and manages to tug out a piece of parchment, and he finds a quill. He like turns behind him and finds a fresh quill and inkwell on another table. He turns around, he scrawls out a note, and he closes it and puts a seal into it. And you can see he's got a ring, a silver ring with an insignia on it, kind of set with a raised silver symbol with and then set in with blue that he presses into the wax. And he hands it to you and he says, there is an establishment there known as the Malachite Dream. Head on up there, provide them with that note, and they will provide you with all of the bathing and comfort that you would need after a job well done. On me.
But my worry is that very soon he's going to know that Onyx guy, what happened, and there was this guard, and he knows what's going to have happened, and like people know what we look like, and that's bad. Maybe we should stay here.
Well, it's nearby, and I can make sure that. Well, he knows that he was supposed to be robbed by you, so I can contact him.
But the city guard maybe doesn't.
Well, it would only be reported to the city guard if Mr. Onyx Forge reported it to the city guard, and as he was expecting to be robbed, he will presumably check in with me, and if I assure him that it was you.
There's a very upset dwarf who's going to be spoken to by one of the bank guards who knows what we looked like but doesn't know that this was all in good fun. And he might just go and find the guards for the city and tell them about what we did, which didn't include taking off his face, in case you care.
But I told him. I did tell him what was going on.
He seemed a little distressed. I'm not sure that it took. I just think maybe we should just wait it out and be dirty for a little while.
I mean, that is entirely up to you if you would so like.
All right,
I think
let's just sit here then.
So we'll just hang out in your office if it's cool with you.
Well, I do have a few more, depending on how long this takes, I do have a few more sensitive...
we don't mind. Don't mind us. We'll be fine.
It is unfortunately, it's the privacy of my clients that I need to meet with this morning that I am more concerned about than...
we're very hush-hush. Don't worry. Don't let that trouble you.
Yes,
I'm sure you are, but I don't know if my clients know that, and I don't know if I necessarily want them to have to reschedule their meetings because of this.
Yes, that is very understandable. And I'm going to go wash my bits. And I'm going to go to the Malachite Dream.
Okay. So you take the letter and you go over that way?
Yeah.
Okay. Aja and Drusilla. He is basically saying, like, get out of my office, but nicely.
I really don't feel comfortable leaving. So, like, is there a place I can hang out?
He thinks for a second. And he says, would you be more comfortable if you did not look like yourself?
That would be good, but like I said earlier, I'm not really about people taking faces, so let's not do that.
He goes over and you can see a hat rack behind him, and he stands up and he goes over to it and he picks up a very wide-brimmed hat with a very large garish feather in it, and then he hands it to you and says, put on that hat and just think of a person that is not you.
Think of a person that's not me. Okay, Aja will go and put it on, and she will think of, how about the orc priestess at the feast?
Okay, so you put it on, and there's just this slight tingling sensation that goes over, and the hat kind of vanishes from your touch, and you look down, and you are an exact replica of the orc priestess from the feast.
Okay, that's pretty neat. Thank you.
That is now, just to be clear, that is not a gift. That is a loan. So whenever all of this is taken care of, I will need that back.
Of course. Understood.
And he turns to Drusilla. Do you have any means of avoiding detection on your way over if you are so uncomfortable about this?
No, I don't.
You could be a cat.
I could be a cat.
I liked it when you were a cat. That was good.
But I don't want Hannibal's dog to eat me again.
Oh no, being a cat would be very bad.
I took Moloch with me.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking about it.
Oh.
We know. What would Malachi hate? You could turn yourself into me. No, that wouldn't work. I'll turn to Lucas. Do you know what death dogs don't like?
Not off the top of my head, though if they are a dog, perhaps another dog would not be considered prey.
Just a thought.
It's worth a shot. Well, we'll play it by ear when we come.
I'll make sure he doesn't do anything. I'll not hurt it a lot.
All right. And once again, thank you so much for, and he looks down at the pile of gold on his desk. conducting this service. I will make sure that this returns back to Mr. Onyx Forge post haste.
Yeah, don't steal any of that, by the way.
I would never. I'm a man of my word. Honest businessman.
All right. Great. All right, Drusilla, shall we?
We shall.
Okay, so you head up in the direction of the Malachite Dream, and Hannibal, you make it up there yourself. You can, it's in that sort of semicircle open plaza area outside of the slope that leads down into the Bone Grinder.
Yep.
You can make your way over. You can find all of the signs here are very bright and very colorful and easy to find and read, and the words are right there for you to find. And you make your way over. It appears as you go in, it appears to be a bathhouse.
I look around. Hello, I would like to have my pieces and my bits washed.
And a tabaxi comes out wearing just like kind of like this loose-fitting, flowy, with lack of a better word, hippie clothes. Just like that very thin, almost like linen outfit. Yes. Would you like a private bath? Would you like to use the public baths? Would you like someone to? I'm sorry.
I would prefer a private bath. There's a lot going on here. And do you have a service where I could wash my clothes? I smell like shit.
Laundering? Yes, we can certainly accommodate laundering. Yes.
How much was that? And the private bath?
Well, Lucas gave you that letter basically saying, like, give them this and it'll be on me.
Oh, and I hand them the letter.
All right. He takes it, pops the seal, opens it, reads it. All of that is taken care of then. All you need to do is just relax and enjoy.
Thank you, and I disrobe.
Oh, not right here. A room will be provided for you.
Sorry, I don't understand social encounters.
Not a problem.
There's a private bath?
Yes, right this way. I'm sorry, one more thing. The letter mentioned 2 others?
Oh, they're not coming.
Oh, all right.
They didn't want the bath, so I'll take whatever services they could get as well. And whatever services my little boy here could get. And I lift up Moloch.
All right. Well, let's get you to your private bath first, and then we'll see what other service you'd like to enjoy.
All right, come on, Moloch, this way.
All right. And they lead you down a hallway in a direction past there's sort of like a almost lattice work, very intricately carved that has holes in it. You can see out into the public baths. There's just holes set down into the ground filled with water, and steam fills in. It's hard to see through, but it leads you into a private room off to one side. And it's again another one of these just big round basins set into the ground, filled with hot steaming water. And he basically, and there's like a wicker basket off to one side, and they say, if you would just kindly, once I've left, if you'd just like to disrobe, place your clothing in there and set it outside the door, and someone will come by and collect them to be washed. And by the time you are done bathing, they will be ready for you just outside the door as well.
Oh, thank you so much. That sounds so good.
All right. Please enjoy. Any soaps, oils, perfumes, anything that you need is off on one side of the bottles over there on the shelf.
Oh, thank you so much. That is wunderbar. Thank you.
They nod their head and then exit out the door. And shortly after, you two make your way in that direction. You can come up and you can find that area again. You can see the sign that says the Malachite Dream.
Go in.
Okay. And you enter in, and just in time you see this tabaxi returning. As they see you, they say, Sister Kalai, I didn't know you were coming in today.
What?
I wasn't aware that you'd be coming. We have it might take us some time to set up your usual services, but
By what?
I'd be happy to.
Services. You got the letter? He's here?
Sure, you don't look like yourself.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. Letter?
Where is he?
Who are you looking for?
He's tall, green, annoying.
Letter. Right. Yes. A man did just come in with a letter from Mr. Ghislaine.
Yeah, he said we could get a bath here.
Oh, you are the two of you are the other two from the letter.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Oh, all right. I see. All right. Yes. Bathing and laundering services are included in the letter if that's what you would like.
Yes, I smell quite terrible. This is the second time I've been covered in shit today.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, right this way. Right this way. And they lead you down the hallway towards two more doors. Basically the same thing Hannibal saw. A stone basin set into the middle of the room filled with steaming water. Towels and a robe provided, and then they say again to both of you, there's a whip basket in the room. Once you've disrobed, if you would just leave your clothes in the basket outside the door, our laundering services will have them clean, fresh, ready for you when you are finished.
Fantastic.
All right.
Now I'm going to start taking clothes off.
All right. They shut the door behind them and leave you two with your baths.
All right. Well, that went well.
And you're all in your own separate rooms. You're all relaxing and bathing and getting nice and clean. And
I've taken the hat off too.
Okay, so you take that. Do you put the hat in the basket, or you set it off to the side?
I think I would remember to set it off.
Okay, so you hang it up on a hook. And with that, as you are relaxing and bathing and cleaning off the terrible smell of sewer, after a job well done, that is where we will end for the week.
Just to get an idea of what Hannibal looks like without his clothes on.
Oh, why do we need to know that?
He wears these clothes because on his head he's got 3 fin-like mohawks, and his arms and legs are covered in spiny lionfish fins. That's why he wears all the heavy clothes.
All right.
And he's scrubbing himself in water.
Okay.
And Moloch too.
He's giving Moloch a little bath.
Yeah.
Aw. Okay. All right. So again, thank you, chat and audience, for hanging out and spending this time with us again. Had a lot of fun, especially the suggestions to burn down the bank.
Oh man, that was so good. It would have been really bad.
That would have resulted in you getting paid nothing.
I am astounded we pulled this off.
It would have been great.
You managed to succeed. Yeah. Congratulations. So again, unfortunately, no game next week because Jess and I will both be out of our respective towns. But then the Sunday after that should be good to go again.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Any last minute things, Justin, before we go?
Just a reminder, July 24th, 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. We're doing a 12-hour stream of D&D, maybe some other games. Our 10 o'clock slot will be Beneath the Tide, I believe. I think. 7 p.m. will probably be a pre-recorded game, maybe, depending on how schedules line up for the cast for the first campaign. If not, and I can't do that, I would like to. We're going to have a really cool one-shot where the core cast of Sam, Garrett, Kate, and Caleb are going to be playing themselves in a really awful, terrifying adventure idea I had. That's not D&D. It'll be really fun to do. To get back at Sam for Noodles and Bad Company. Also, check out our podcast on iTunes if you want to listen to our pirate campaign. It is a podcast right now. It is the first episode split into 4 parts, though. Also, no idea if that'll be on iTunes, or not on iTunes, Spotify. And I don't know when the other episodes are going to come out. Just letting you know, but just letting you guys know we are working on getting our pirate campaign up and going as a podcast. Also, again, working on some shows that are going to be coming out tomorrow, probably around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check out episode 1 of Demystifying DMing, which is Sam's little DM show that he's running. And each episode's about how long?
We'll see. The first episode is about 10 minutes long.
So keep your eyes peeled for Demystifying DMing.
yeah, first episode is just an introduction to what the series is going to be, and then 5 general tips for DMing to kind of get started to be applied right away, so you don't have to sit through an entire video for just one thing.
And just a little shout out to some special people in the chat. I'm gonna start doing this at the end of every game if it happens. If my internet will cooperate with me. We went from 109 followers today to 112.
Ooh.
So I just like to
Them
thank.
dabs.
Who am I thanking here? I just like to thank. I'm going to thank a bunch of people since I last checked. Thank you to Detective Denny, Pen and Paper Capers. Pen and Paper Capers was the one who gave us the raid 2 Wednesdays ago. Cast Rat Witch, Polar Knights, Cinti KMK, Foxcomb IRL, and Spaceboy 9702, which is Michael, I think. Yes. So thanks to all those people for following, not today, but throughout the week. Also, big thanks to Addison Ryder in chat for subscribing, because subscribing is awesome and it gives us money to do stuff with. But thank you, everybody, and I'll let Sam close out everything.
All right. See you all in 2 weeks for the resolution of this, to see them walk this guy through the bank and how they did, explain how they did it, and then see where they go from there, and see, now that they've starting to gain a bit of success, what kind of turn this takes for our heroes.
I don't think we're heroes.
We'll find out. That question will be continuously answered as the weeks go on. So come back in and find out the answer. So have a good week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.